What is that thing you say when you clink glasses?
Sláinte is like the Irish, salute or Nostrovia. It's just the Irish version. Sláinte.
Sláinte?
Sláinte. Yeah, like Slainte, I believe is how it's spelled. Sláinte.
Ooh. I never knew that. You said it before, and I always just let it slide because I didn't want to seem like a dork.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
I'm probably saying it real, but I mean, Gaelic is some real harsh.
Yeah,
vowels and
Gaelic's crazy.
It's a crazy. I've seen Gaelic names that were spelt insane, and it was that's pronounced Sean. Some crazy shit like that.
That's a wild ancient language, right?
Yeah, for real though.
I love Irish people, man. I'm fucking fascinated by the wildness of that culture.
Well, that's why God made whiskey, so the Irish would never rule the world.
Dude, when you see a guy like Conor McGregor, that part of what is him is Irish. He's like a pure, brilliant Irish. You know what I'm talking about?
For sure.
Boastful,
all the
bad
way.
Motherfucker. Knows
Full
how to
throttle.
take a loss. Knows how to take a loss. Takes a loss like a man and still talks shit.
Come right back to my. It's like that, that guy that you fight, but he loses, but you're gonna have to fight him tomorrow.
Yes.
Or as soon as his shit is healed up and the busted upness is gone.
He's got $100 million in the bank. And he still wants to fight people. Still smacking people at bars.
Yeah, it's.
What is he doing?
It's hard.
What
it's
is
hard.
he doing?
You
Don't
gotta
do
kind
that.
of be like,
don't do that.
Nah, not that.
Who knows what the fuck the guy said to him? But it looked like the guy was old as fuck. Someone said he was only 50. That the guy was only 50.
Dude didn't fold up though. He just kind of sat at the bar.
Conor didn't really.
Yeah, he smacked him. He gave him the smack in the back of the head.
Gave him a couple of fingers. He touched him.
He did what we call mushed him. He mushed him. It can kind of be interpreted as hitting, but it really ain't quite a hit.
Yeah, when you're a guy like that, you're basically walking around agreeing not to fuck people up. Because you have to kind of agree to not fuck people up.
The money he's got, there should be 5 guys around him that make sure that never happens.
Yeah, but they can't listen to him. If you have a guy like him, he's going to do whatever he wants, even if there's a bunch of people around him stopping him. You're not going to stop him from doing shit. When he threw that guy's phone down the ground, stomped it in Miami, there was all the bodyguards there. He just did it. He just did it. He's Conor McGregor. He's fucking he's living like you're supposed to live if you're Conor McGregor. The dance is don't go to jail, dude. Don't get locked up.
And it's also the whole structure of the way things are now as far as entertainment. It's it's all about eyeballs.
Well, he fucking figured it out, man.
He's pulling eyeballs.
Figured it out.
You know what I mean?
He figured it out, man. In the most crazy way possible. He figured out how to just blow up the whole system. When you're a guy who has been fighting, I contacted him on Twitter in 2013, right? By 2018, he's worth $100 million.
Yeah, so quick. And he called it all the way. And he called it all the way. That's the craziest part. He called it all the way. I'm going to be, a billionaire or a multimillionaire.
You know what Dana White said to me once about him? That's dead on. He said he eats pressure. He said that guy eats pressure. He just eats it. He just goes in there, and the more pressure he experiences, the better he can perform. It's true. It's you look at the Aldo fight. It's picture perfect left hand knockout. It doesn't get any prettier. The timing, the setup, the patience, the movement, the setting it up, looking for him to leap in, and bang, catching him when he's coming in.
I'm pretty sure he said exactly those. That's exactly what he said he was going to do right before the fight too.
Oh, that's me tweeting him. In January of 2013, I saw his fight in, I think it was Cage Warriors. I think that's the promotion. Cage Wars or Cage Warriors? I think it's, why am I fucking that up? Cage Wars. Is there 2 different ones? There probably is. This is probably a bunch of cage stuff. But either way, he was fucking people up overseas. And I was like, this kid's for real. You just see something sometimes. He sees, I'll watch a video, see how a guy moves. I'm like, Jesus. Some guys just have something. And he had just ridiculous timing, man. Yeah, so relaxed in there.
Those were fun fights, man.
His early days of MMA is you can go back and watch him and you go, oh, this guy's going to be special. He's got a weird sense of timing. You know, he's just very good at understanding where you're at and knowing how to put it on.
He just had me winning, you know, the whole Irish thing. That's it.
Oh, for sure, man.
We built this
Irish
city.
Person. Dude.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, when he was like, we all fight together. Like, whoo. When he's in the room, like, if he wins a fight and there's, you know, the crowd's filled with like 7,000 Irish people, dude, you feel it. Like, you feel like goosebumps. It's crazy. Like, you do everything you can to stop, just to keep yourself from crying at the beauty of it. This guy standing there in front of thousands of people that have flown overseas to see him fight.
It's insane how many people fly over for it.
Dude, it's crazy. They take over the fucking Vegas hotels. Take over. Like, where you have seized the.
Didn't they shut down like
songs.
7th Avenue in front of Madison Square Garden?
There's not a fucking fan on earth like Irish fans. They're different. I used to think Brazilian fans were crazy until I saw the Irish fans. They take over. The whole Mandalay Bay was taken over by people singing. It was all
and
Irish
doing a
people.
fair amount of drinking.
Oh, fair. More than fair. But just the fact that they can do that they can get together and sing the same song, like thousands of them together, singing the same song.
I remember the first time when we went to Ireland, it's House of Pain, and in between songs, they broke into the whole, you know, all the soccer chant stuff. Oh, wow. And we were just like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, we never experienced anything like that. They don't do that at the sports events at home back then, not back then at all. So that was amazing.
Wow.
Culturally, it's that soccer
they have
shit
to
is
have
real.
Conor fight in Ireland once. He's got to fight in Dublin in a soccer stadium. Fuck yeah, right?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
If he's ever going to fight again, that's when they should do it. I don't, you know, I think the idea was that it's like more money in pay-per-view if you fight in Vegas. You know, and Vegas is worth a lot of money.
Doesn't the time have a lot to do with it too? When they do it on the European thing, they got to do the whole weird time thing over there so they can accommodate the pay-per-view here.
Yeah, it'd be real weird. They'd be fighting at like 4 a.m.
It's always real weird to me when I wake up and there's like a South American fight that happened at noon, and I'm like, oh, God, I missed.
Or Japan, like Ryzen. If you're trying to watch Ryzen, they have it in Japanese time. That's how Pride used to be. We would get up at we would have guys come over my house. And we would watch Pride at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like sometimes they would have them live for some reason. If I'm remembering it correctly, sometimes they would have them live and sometimes they would have the fights and you knew what happened, but you didn't get to see it for like a couple of weeks. They would delay it in North America for some strange reason. Yeah. They didn't totally do it live.
I was hip to that MMA share thing a long time ago. They always had the bootleg videos and
don't tell anybody. That's like Voldemort. Don't say that.
No, did I just mess up?
I don't know, man. People get mad.
I thought it was gone anyways. That was streams. 10 years ago, dude.
Illegal streams.
Yeah, the funny thing was, dude, UFC is gangsters with that. Like it used to be, you could watch those, and then over time, you because like in Europe before, like there was things like Fight Pass and thing like that. You couldn't find a pay-per-view if you were stuck over there at 4 a.m. in the middle of somewhere. So you would lean on whatever you could as a fan, but you started seeing that shutting them down. Like it doesn't. They're gangsters. The UFC are gangsters.
Yeah, it's a big money business. People fucking people up.
It's impressive, is what it is. It's impressive. It's like there's a army of motherfuckers somewhere going. Oh yeah,
Still, some of it must get through, right? Just the internet just has stuff that gets through.
I don't know. I got the Fight Pass now, so everywhere I go, I got the Fight Pass and you have that little static IP address. So like when you are out the country, you can. That's perfectly normal.
You know what's weird? Why aren't they showing? Like I need to ask the UFC this. Why don't they show like the knockouts on their Instagram page? They show when the knockout's over. Yeah. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I do not understand. I don't understand.
Because once everybody knows, they know.
Everybody knows they know. It's not hurting anybody to watch it. Like it'll just hype up the fight.
Is replay business a lot of business? I wonder what the replay buys are. Like the cats who just missed it and bought the replay. Maybe that factors in.
I'm sure.
They probably make a nice second round of money on that replay.
Right. Like, so how long do you think they should hold off for like a week,
day or two, maybe. Yeah, a week tops.
A week, and then put the highlights on.
For sure.
Do they do that? Do they ever show? I get this weird impression that they only show like right after the finish.
Well, like on the Instagram now, no, they'll show entire fights on Instagram now, but old fights, old fights. So
but
like,
I'm pretty sure they showed Stipe just pulling off of DC. Was that the case? That was a crazy.
Yeah, my whole phone got blown up because apparently I'm right in the background when that happens. Like,
no.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but my phone blew up right then.
Dude, that fight was chaos. That fight was chaos.
That was fun. I had an amazing time.
That card, I should say, fight card was chaos. Yeah, that was a wild one, man. In Anaheim. It was hard watching DC get hit with those fucking body shots. Oof.
Yeah, that was, dude, as soon as he started taking in, it was like, oh, wow, something's happening.
Dude, Stipe's nasty. He wanted that belt back.
The shots he took.
Incredible.
You know, we were talking about the shots Stipe took and just walked through them like.
Wow, it was crazy because DC managed to put him away with one punch the first time. And
that he didn't see coming.
Yeah,
he didn't see it coming. Everything he got hit with was hard as hell, but he saw it all coming.
Yep.
And he didn't let him get in that little right in his chest area because he got that short one on him that last time.
That's exactly what happens if you're not prepared. If you don't think you're going to get punched and you relax for a minute and then you get punched by something you don't see coming, you can get fucked up. And when you're in a fight with a Greco-Roman wrestler of the caliber of DC who knows how to manipulate you, and he just manipulated him perfectly into that right hand. I mean, it was a beautiful work of art. But he was never able to hit him like that in the second fight, like as cleanly and have that kind of an effect. The shots he hit him with were pretty good shots, but Stipe ate him. And then you realize, oh, Stipe could take a fucking shot. He just got clipped. He just got caught. He could take a fucking shot. And he was there in the fourth round, which is really impressive. Like in the fourth round, he was looking good.
He recognizes as soon as he touched that liver shot that it was...
Yep.
Oh, wow, something happened there. And it hit him. He dug in like 4 or 5 straight times, man.
You cannot let a guy like that punch you in the liver that many times. I'm sure DC obviously didn't want him to do that, but that's how good Stipe is.
Respect to DC, though.
Yeah, respect to DC. I love that guy.
That was a great fight.
He's one of my favorite people to do commentary with, man, for sure. He's the best. He's so fun. He's hilarious. Like when Rose Namajunas knocked out Ioana Jacek, and he's like, Thug Rose!
I was watching. Yeah,
I'll never forget
amazing.
that. Like that is what I love. Like
those are forever
so
moments.
Free.
You know?
He's so free that in the middle of like this, we're calling a world title fight. He's just DC. He could be himself, and it's he's got a great personality, man. And he's a hell of a fighter, and he was dominating in the first round.
Do you think he's gonna fight again? Probably.
I think he's gonna want to fight Stipe again. If I really guess, I mean, if he wants to do it again, he's gonna want to fight Stipe again because he's gonna want to. What I think the way he described it is right that wrong. That he just didn't fight well. He didn't listen to his corner. I think that's what he thinks. It's like. He fought really well in the first round, and then Bob Cook was yelling at him in the second round, keep your damn hands up, you know, and he was like walking him down, like almost like disdainfully, like walking him down. And I don't know if that was part of strategy to psychologically put up a lot of pressure on Stipe, you know, to try to establish that Stipe's done, that he's the champ now. But it was almost like disdainful. But Stipe survived. So, and he just was there, and he was in there in really good shape in rounds 3 and rounds 4. That was what was really impressive about it.
I was amazed,
especially after getting fucked up quite a bit in that first round.
I mean, there was a couple of times where I thought he was going to be like dude was going to get him.
Yeah,
Cormier.
DC was all over him in that first round, and when he picked him up and dumped him, you're like, Jesus Christ, DC's good. Yeah, Jesus Christ, he's good. He just didn't maintain it. That's exactly what it was, and then Stipe made the adjustment, and. You know, who the fuck knows? He might decide, you know what, my body doesn't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I know he made a ton of money, and I know he's really good as a commentator, and he'll do that forever.
For sure.
Or he might don't want to do it one more time. But then there's always John Jones lurking, man. I mean, I felt like everybody knows, like, that's the biggest rivalry in MMA. Isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing you like, if you're going to talk about accolades of Cormier's, he has everything, all those championships, but there's that little asterisk on the light heavyweight belt that he never really got it from John. Right.
But that's the weird part about it, right? It's like when you're a champion, but the champion who's the real champion didn't lose it, and then they have an interim champ. Like, what are we doing here? What has happened? Is he got?
Now, John never come back and shown that
Right.
he's still him. Like, and hopefully, God willing for him, keeping all his stuff together. And it would have been different if he just kind of faded into the distance. Then it changes that narrative.
Yeah.
But he came back, and his original thing was like, you ain't that guy. I'm that guy still.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that's how crazy good John is. Really, that's how crazy good John is.
I'd love to see that, though.
And the way DC was able to beat Rumble twice. Rumble, to me, was always the scariest guy.
By the way. That's my dude.
Rumble's the scariest
That's
guy.
my dude.
He's so ferocious. His punching is so fucking explosive, man. He's just got so much power. When he knocked out Glover Teixeira with one punch, I was like, God. Like, who the
When I first
fuck
met him,
hits
he
like
was
that,
a
dude?
much smaller dude.
When he's
You know,
fighting 170.
Yeah. He used to work out with some friends of mine that used to work out in this little MMA gym that was off Melrose and La Brea. I think it was called LA MMA at the time or something like that. And before he wound up in Colorado, I think.
Dude.
But I've known that dude a while, man.
He's
a good dude, man.
ridiculously powerful. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
His fucking power is preposterous, though. Like, but it was.
And then when I seen him come back on the 205, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
Blew
Just
my mind. I was like, what the
flatlining people
fuck?
at 205. But it was interesting, man. His retirement was like one of the most honest and like it was like he was like happy with it because he was like, man, I'm not a fighter. I'm an athlete. I'm just good at this. I was like, wow, that's interesting. It's an interesting
He
way to
grows
look
weed
at it.
now and raises dogs and like breeds
amazing.
French bulldogs.
Good for him. And he's huge. He just did a grappling competition against this guy, Craig Jones, who's this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy from Australia that's a murderer. He's a leg lock specialist, too, and he caught him in a leg lock. It's crazy to see how big he is. Rumble's like fucking, I don't know, he's got to be like 260 pounds. Like, no bullshit.
Wow.
He's huge,
Yeah, I haven't seen
man.
him. I've seen him. We sat next to a fight,
Huge.
not the last fight I went to, but whatever the one last fight before that in Vegas.
Bro, he looks like a fucking super heavyweight. He's so big, it's ridiculous. Yeah, he just not even thinking about losing weight for fighting anymore. I would wonder what would happen if he decided to come back as a heavyweight. Like, no bullshit. As a heavyweight, if that guy, I mean, do you know how crazy it would be if that guy wound up winning the heavyweight title? Like, if you think of the Rumble career, he wins the Ultimate Fighter as a 170, gets all the way up to 185, can't make 185, misses weight, right? Misses it for the Vitor Belfort fight, I believe, a big fight. Then he goes up to light heavyweight, even goes up to heavyweight, beat Andrei Arlovsky in, I think it was the PFL, and I think it really beat him badly, if I remember correctly. Like, he broke his jaw. So, and then
I don't recollect
that was at heavyweight.
fight.
That was at
Okay.
heavyweight in the PFL. It wasn't in the UFC. And then he
Okay.
comes back to the UFC. Comes back to the UFC as a light heavyweight and just flatlining people.
Yeah, I remember.
You would see him hit people. You just go, whoa, that guy.
Scary.
Timing too. Excellent timing. You know, it wasn't just power. Rumble Johnson, UFC return, could be on cards if the price is right. Yeah, that was when. This is from recently?
Yeah, after his grappling match.
Oh,
I think.
really?
Yeah, July, 2 months ago.
Dude,
month
he's
ago.
so big right now. I would think he would fight heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Him and
I mean, I really think
him and Stipe.
he was torturing his body for so long to make 170. I never saw anybody lose.
What
Oh
do
my
you-
God, 278. He's so big.
That's 100 pounds over what he fought.
It is a
in his
100
first fight.
pound gain. That is so
Wow.
crazy. 100 pounds more than what he weighed in when he won the Ultimate Fighter.
That's insane.
That's insane.
God bless.
Oh my God. 278. Oh my God. 170. Oh my God. He was 170.
What do you make
170-pound champion becomes a 278-pound heavyweight. And it's like, how did you do that? Where is it? It's crazy. That guy's power is fucking undeniably preposterous.
What do you make of Brock trying to pick a fight with John Bones?
Oh, that's so silly. Let's just talk. What I was going to say about Rumble is that even though Rumble was that good and that scary, DC handled him, man. DC ate a hard shot, got him to the ground. That was Rumble when he was 170. He's very thin. Now he's enormous. But DC was the guy who managed to handle that. You know?
crazy.
That's how
And
badass DC is.
seemingly easily was
He
the
was the
crazy
only
part.
one. He was the only one that could handle him like that.
I didn't think that was going to go that way. Like I said, that was my dude, so I was rooting heavy for him.
Well, DC's a special guy when it comes to wrestling. He's especially talented. And I think wrestlers, they know where they stand in the wrestling food chain. And when you get gripped by a dude like DC, you're like, oh, Jesus, this is Olympic caliber wrestling. It's beast mode. He just starts smashing. And he was able to run his way through the heavyweight division. You got to realize before he lost the Stipe fight, he had only lost one round ever at heavyweight, really, arguably. And that was to Josh Barnett. I think that was like one round that he lost on the cards. And Josh Barnett is a legend, a fucking the youngest ever UFC heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
the youngest ever UFC
OG,
heavyweight champion, yes. Josh Barnett. Brilliant guy, too. Do you know Josh?
Not personally, no. I'm
fucking brilliant guy. Brilliant guy. So that's the last round that DC had ever lost. He lost like one round as a heavyweight. He was just dominating people. With his wrestling and his hand speed, he was just fucking people up. But that's how good Stipe is, man. People slept on Stipe. You know, people thought that DC was going to run him over again, like he ran him over the first time. And, I think DC prepared for a long and arduous fight, but Stipe's a big, big man. Big, giant heavyweight, man. He's a long, tall dude, a long frame. And DC weighed more than him during the fight. I think he weighed like 6 pounds more than him, something like that. But it's just built, it's just distributed very differently.
Didn't Stipe come in like 20 or 30 pounds less than last time?
He came in less, yeah. I don't know if it was 20 pounds, but I think he was like 230 in this fight, and I think DC was 236. So DC came in light too. Oh, okay. He came in lighter than their first fight. But I think, Stipe came in after like a whole year of waiting for this rematch, like trying to figure out if it's ever going to happen. Is DC going to fight Brock Lesnar? And Jesus, it's like he was always waiting. And then finally they gave him the chance to see him. I hate to see DC lose. I hate it. It's hard to watch, man. He's such a nice guy. It's hard, as much as I like that guy, to see him get hit. It's hard. But you take all that stuff out and just look at it as two athletes. And what Stipe did was just brilliant. The whipping of that left hook to the body was just textbook, man. Textbook.
DC was fighting an amazing fight up until that he gassed a little bit, it looked like to me, and the liver shot started happening,
It's also, you got to appreciate the technique. The way Stipe threw that left hook was perfect. I mean, it was just, these are brilliant shots. There's no wasted movement. The technique was pinpoint. I mean, he just rips him in there. And he caught DC standing there, and he just hit him with a hard left to the body. And then once he realized he could do that more, he just continued what they were doing. Yeah. And then he would go do it again, and he got in again. And then now DC's in a little bit of trouble. And now what's he going to try to do? Take him down? Like he's in this spot where he's kind of still standing with him, and he's not down, but he's hurt. And so it's how much is he hurt? I mean, he got hit with hard body shots by a big heavyweight.
Was definitely letting it be known.
Ooh, those are brutal. And then, boom, he starts hitting him up to the head and drops him. And like, wow, that was super impressive.
Like when you're calling a fight, how often are you looking here? And how often
depends on what I can see. Yeah. What you're saying is a monitor. Yeah, it depends on how often I want to see it. If I could just see it.
Absolutely. That's why I'm just curious. Yeah. Like, I'm just saying, percentage wise, if you were to guess, what about a third of the time you're looking at this, and the rest of the time you're probably up here?
Yeah, maybe less than a third on the monitors. I try to stay off the monitors. The monitors I want to see. I want to see what's happening. But if they're off to the side, like pressed up against the cage, then I kind of have to go to the monitors because I need to see. I'm
comparing it to like an experience as like ringside experience where I'm like, how often? I'm like about a third of the time I feel like I'm looking.
You're watching the screens.
At the screens. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just because I want to. They're on the ground and I want to see what's going on with the arm that I can't see. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a wild fucking sport, man. So wild.
I was trying to figure it out the other day. I think I've been to like maybe 60 UFCs, man.
Jesus Christ.
I think so, dude. If I think back to the years of when I met Dana and Chuck, and like ever since that day, it's like anyone I call up and I'm blessed and I get to go.
I know you're always.
And when I was
there.
single, dude, when it was those days, it was a whole different game. I'd be in almost every one because most of them were in Vegas.
Yeah.
So it would be easy to get there.
Yeah, those are fun experiences, man.
Trying to figure out how to pull up on Abu Dhabi, man.
Are you really?
I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out do I just buy a ticket and go, or do I figure out how? Any promoter out there that wants some jump around action? holler at me. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to pull up on the Abu Dhabi fight and have that experience.
I'm going to be watching that one from here. We're going to probably do a fight companion for that.
And one day, I want to be invited to one of those.
Dude, you got to come to one of those. Those are ridiculous.
Yeah, no, they're fun.
Just try not to get into conspiracies.
No, dude, I'm well aware.
Try to keep Eddie away from the Illuminati.
Right.
It's the only way it goes south. But even then, it's fun. It's always fun. It's like, it's just the best thing in the world is like watching fights with friends and laughing.
No, I've watched it
good
a few
combination
times.
of things. Yeah.
It's a fun thing.
My most favorite way to watch fights.
Turn the sound down at the house and put y'all up.
Man, you could say things you just can't say. You know, you could talk about things that you could never otherwise talk about, and you could describe things with language, like all the language. You could use all the language. You know, like when I'm doing the UFC, it's for sure, like little kids are listening to this, which is kind of weird, right? Like if you say "fuck," that's bad. But if they watch someone get beaten,
the fighter could say it though. I mean, you know what I mean? The fighter could say it.
Yeah.
I think appropriately and intelligently placed, it wouldn't be out of line. But you couldn't overdo it or overuse it. It would have to be like, you'd have to like pick that perfect.
The problem
moment.
is it gets in the way of doing the commentary, right? Any decision that you would make to use that kind of language would get in the way of the commentary because it would be less effective. Like they would go, "Oh, this guy! Like, why do you have to use it there?"
True.
And there would be like judgment of like when to use it and why to use it, and then they would like think less of what you have to say or be upset by what you have to say, and that would be the number one thing. If you're trying to do commentary, the number one thing you're trying to do is take yourself out of it. Like I'm trying to do that. I'm just trying to like use the best language possible to express my excitement for what we're about to see. Like this is what's important to me. Like I just want to this is how fucking pumped I am. These guys are murderers. This is going to be fascinating to see. Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, what the fuck?
That's exactly how we were talking in the car on the way down.
I was watching that fight like this. This is me like Jesus. Like it's like one of those fights we just waiting for some crazy. The beatings they were giving each other was crazy, man. Fucking two chiseled granite-looking motherfuckers.
Yoel and a Gucci model.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be in a Gucci model ad next week.
Yeah, for sure. If Gucci doesn't pick him up, they're crazy. The guy's beautiful. They're both giant, beautiful men with incredible bodies. It was the fight was fucking fantastic. I mean, it was so highly skilled. That Paulo Costa guy is for real, man. He's for real. If he can do that to Yoel, if he could stay on top of Yoel like that, Yoel explodes on everyone. But that dude weathered the storm. He weathered the storm, and he landed some great shots. It was a very close fight, though, because Yoel hit him with some big shit, too, and Yoel took him down twice. You know?
Yeah. We were, you know, it was my 50th Sunday, so we were out Saturday and Sunday.
What's the word again?
Slancha.
Slancha.
Yes, sir.
Slancha.
So, like, you know, we were going, Yoel, old guy rep, you know what I mean? Old for the old guys, you know what I mean? So we were going hard for Yoel.
Bro, he wins best body at 42 all over the world. The guy's a monster. I mean, who has more, like, athletic length of their elite career than Yoel? Because at 42, he still moves like he moved 10 years ago.
Is he 42 too? Is it, you know, that's what I'm saying. He's got that Cuban birth certificate. Yeah. It could be like 48.
You know, that's what they say about that Luis Ortiz guy, you know, that elite heavyweight boxer from Cuba.
I'm going to get in trouble like from all my Cuban friends for that. They're all be busting my balls. All the Cyprus guys.
I had him on the podcast with Joey Diaz translating. It was amazing, man, to hear him tell his stories in Cuban. I just wish I spoke Spanish so I could understand it, like coming from his mouth. But having Joey translate it and talk about all the shit that he had to deal with coming up through the Cuban amateur system.
This was one of your podcasts?
Yeah. Look at that. Dude,
I gotta watch it because I don't. That one got by me.
Look at that build. That is preposterous. That is one of them sculpted things you buy at Toys R Us. Right?
Looks like the
Prometheus thing. It's an action figure. That's an action figure for sure.
That does not look like a real live human. It's
a Batman suit.
He's so freakishly athletic and so powerful. And, you know, it's that Cuban wrestler system. And he just, the way he described it is like, they turn you into a machine. You just become a fucking machine. And that's what he is with competition. He's just a machine, man.
Yeah, he was clowning too in the second 2 rounds. Like that's why I was like, kind of felt like, you know.
Well, he's trying to get that guy to be emotional and make a mistake. You know,
for sure. But it was like he finished. He got. I mean, he got the best of him in those 2 rounds. In my book, I thought he won. Close. Not bad enough to be like bitching about it, but like I would have flipped the 29-28 personally.
Well, the audience agreed with you when they
that's right. They were booing.
They were
crazy.
booing it. Yeah, which is unfortunate because Paulo Costa just fought an amazing fight, and he has to feel like shit during the post-fight
That does
part.
suck.
It sucks.
I don't condone booing any of that stuff, man. Because most of the people that would boo would never get in that ring. I would never get in that ring. You ain't got enough money. And I've made a lot of money, and Conor McGregor hasn't got enough money for me to get in that ring, dog. I'm sorry. Okay, you got $100 billion.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. I'm like my consciousness. You know, I'm not getting in with Mike Tyson for any money. You know, because
the problem is
that's a
booing
lottery
the decision.
ticket on the wrong side of things.
Yeah, for sure. The problem is they're booing the decision. It wasn't his decision. He just fought his heart out.
And it wasn't that ridiculous, is my point, too.
No,
like, it was like, I would have flipped it, but hey, okay, no, I can see how that could be seen.
100%. And your guy has been live to 60 fucking UFCs. Yeah. It's just...
I don't know what the woo thing is that's happened in the last couple of years. Woo! Like, it's just like, and the whole crowd starts, it's like...
They just get excited.
But that's new. That's like, that wasn't around a long time ago.
It's probably some soccer thing. They probably stole it from soccer.
And then woo, it's like animals answering each other at some point. It's like, you got motherfuckers,
right?
You know what I mean, communicating with the woos.
Dude, I never even thought of that. That's so true. The woo, that's a new thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, the last few years.
Last 5 or 6 years, right? What do you think? Was that
I feel
a
like it started
thing?
when it's, you know what? When's the first time it popped up down south, like a Kentucky or a North Carolina? That's when I feel like I heard it first. Like,
you know, that might be Ric Flair. That might be a Ric Flair.
It might be a Ric Flair? Is that what that is? Oh, yeah. Dude, that would make a lot. Now you fucking solved the mystery for me. That would make sense if we can get some confirmation on that somehow.
Someone asked this question on Reddit, and someone says you've been talking about Ric Flair so much that they might have picked it up from you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know if that's right.
What if this is some bizarro moment where it all connected? Like, oh, shit, I started that.
Listen, guys like that are important to America. The guy's he's such a character. In his prime with his suits. Jet flying, alligator wearing.
I was a WCW guy, man, and Ric Flair was the man.
Dude, he's a character that made his way into... What, 1,000 rap songs? How many rap songs have Ric Flair?
Dude, there's a whole hip hop subculture involved with wrestling. Like, I mean, there's like these cats that I'm actually fans of, West Side Gun and Conway and this kid Benny. They got this record label called Griselda, but the West Side Gun kid is like a fucking wrestling fanatic. Like he's like involved. I think he's involved with like the WWE, like doing merch and stuff like that now, because I see him putting shit together that's like definitely got to be licensed. So, but like, yo, it's there's this whole subculture of like this of wrestling and hip hop going on right now too.
Wrestling has definitely made its way into stand up too now. You know, they have this podcast, The Store Horsemen, where they all just talk about pro wrestling. A bunch of comics, Tony Hinchcliffe and these comics. Who's on that Store Horseman? Jeremiah Watkins, right? Who else? No, he's not. I'm giving out fake news.
Fake news.
That's fake news. But
what's not fake news is this is delicious, by the way.
It's very good.
It's delicious.
Buffalo Trace.
I ain't mad at it.
This company's from 1773, son. They started in 1773.
Like
Did you know that they sold whiskey during Prohibition for medicinal purposes?
Of course they did.
I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't, but I'm not shocked at all.
So this company kept making whiskey all through the Prohibition.
Legally, you're saying?
Legally, yeah, for medicine. So people that, you know, need a little medicine.
I just got a slew of new whiskeys for the birthday.
It's Tony Hinchcliffe, Johnny Skirtis, Matt Edgar, Josh Martin. That's right. I hope I said Skirtis' last name right. Is that right? Is that how you say it?
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Anyway, so comics are really into pro wrestling too. They even go live. These dorks. They fly out to like WrestleMania and they go in the audience. They live stream everything. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. It's become like a pit. Not like a. It's become a thing that people like to do, like to go to these big wrestling events and groups of people, whether it's musicians or rappers, hip hop or stand-ups. They're going like
for sure,
experiencing it together.
Exactly. It's like the concert experience.
Why are rappers so obsessed with Ric Flair?
Because he's got like 40 Rolexes. Because he's Ric Flair.
That one famous rant that he went on: limousine riding, jet flying.
Yeah, exactly.
that kind
and
of shit.
And they were all 8 when that happened.
Yeah,
and they
like,
saw
woo!
that. Yes, that's everything I want in the universe.
You see him now. I mean, the guy still gets love everywhere he goes. Like I did in my special where I said, Ric Flair, and then I put the microphone out to the audience. The audience goes, woo! Like,
dude, you started that shit then, dude. You started the woo.
I don't think I did. I think it was already going on. I think everybody appreciates this guy. It's like, as you get old, we can't play this, right? We'll get in trouble. But this is as you get older, you see things like this, you appreciate them for what they are. Like, you could think they're cheesy when you're young, but then as you get older, you go, no, that's fucking awesome. The fact that guy is this
those
tank
glasses are
with
amazing,
this beautiful golden mullet with those crazy sunglasses, saying all this nutty shit.
Big old pinky ring,
dude. Man, that's an artist. That guy's an artist. Look at him.
That's the male soap opera forever since back when we were children, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I was a kid, it was Bob Backlund and Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Iron Sheik.
I don't know if you could have really grown up in America as a little boy and not had a phase at some point where you interacted with one of these wrestling organizations, WCW or WWF, when I was growing up.
And if you were like one of those kids that's really into like alt music and indie groups, you would go for some like fucking Killer Kowalski shit. You would go
Undertaker.
Yeah. You would try to find some people that were off the beaten path. Like, do you know about this wrestling organization? Because there's a bunch of like weird little tiny ones.
when House of Pain was early on, but we were already experiencing pretty good success. Like ECW had formed, the Crazy Extreme Championship Wrestling. I think that's what it stood for. Out of Philadelphia, and they invited us to a bunch. And it was the first time I ever really, and I know it had happened before, but their whole show was about cats cutting their faces open and bleeding during matches and shit. It was insanity, man. And they had packed houses. I mean, I think dude bought it up. Like Vince McMahon bought it up, and the guy who owned it or ran it became one of the characters within it. I believe. It's been a long time. I'm old now. I'm 50.
Did you see what Ronda Rousey did to her finger? Did you see that?
I saw that yesterday.
How about that, man? They glued that thing together, and she went back to work.
How about if I read it right, she finished the take.
She finished the take and ignored it until it was over. And then when it was over, she realized how bad it was. So she goes to the hospital. They put it back together again, and then she goes back and finishes.
Gangster.
Dude.
That's dedication.
Not a lot of humans can do that.
It's also like, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm going to go finish this movie.
Well, it's not
fighting's nobody wants to cut the weight once they're done. They don't want to come back to that shit.
Well, that's just the mindset of an elite combat sports
For
athlete.
Sure.
She just had that mindset. There's not a whole lot of humans that would have dealt with that way. That's crazy. That lady's made out of bullets.
I'm going on my workman's comp from my SAG-AFTRA insurance.
And yeah, you're shutting down production, son. We ain't finishing no scenes. What?
Chopped off a superstar's finger.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. What if she lost her finger? What if it was like?
It wasn't fault.
Bro, yeah, that's a fuck.
Without the super expert
injury. Yeah,
surgeons, that's gone.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of which, dude, last. I think it happened. I don't know if we talked about it. It might have been after the last time I was on, dude. So I'm on a trip, and I'm coming home, literally about to get on the plane, and I get this text from my wife, like, I'm at the hospital. I chopped off my finger, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, she didn't chop off her finger, man. She cut her. She probably got her pretty bad stitches. I was like, okay, it's pretty bad. I was like, all right, it was like about a 3-hour flight home. So all right, I'll be there as soon as I can. So I get there and I pick her up from the hospital, and she's got the big thing on, and I get the story of she was getting in the shower, and we have a big glass swinging shower door, and she fucking she was getting in and holding on to the edge real quick as the door slammed shut on it and just lopped off the fucking hole to the knuckle, basically. They put that shit back on, fixed it up a little bit, It looks pretty fucking good now, but that was crazy, dog. It just reminded me of it with the whole Ronda Rousey.
Fingers are so... It's amazing that they don't break more often. They're so gentle.
My shit would be over. Like if that part of this finger, like this is the guitar on the fret hand, like that. If I lost that part of that finger, it's going to take me 4 or 5 years to learn how to play with just these. At least.
My friend Paul was closing a window and it had shattered and cut his finger and cut through the tendons, and his finger was like permanently curled. And he had a bunch of operations to try to straighten it out, but then eventually he just gave up. They could never straighten it out. It never regained like full range of motion from a window.
Yeah.
Like it's so delicate. All this stuff is so delicate. You know, that's why it's great. That's why
blew my mind.
So ridiculous.
A glass door, not sharp really. I went home and looked at it, and like it's pretty beveled on the edges, but the weight of it just lopped off the fucking finger like crazy. She was pretty gangster, though. I have to say, she was pretty gangster.
Woody Harrelson. You made me think of that scene where they put his hand in the fucking bowl, the bowling thing.
My wife actually posted. I don't think it's on her any Instagram anymore.
Ridiculous.
She posted the tip of her finger in the plastic bag as she took it to the goddamn fucking hospital, dude.
Did she have ice in the bag?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Christ.
They couldn't reattach, but it was like they were able to like extend it somehow luckily the dude out right there. There's a dude who was an expert at hand plastic surgery and hooked her shit up. Like it looks relative. It looks pretty normal.
Something happens to your skin, like if your finger gets chopped off at the end. There's a way to make it grow back, right? Isn't there? Am I making this up? It seems like I remember there's a way where if something happens to your tip of your finger.
Oh yeah, if you don't get the bone, they can. Yeah, I've heard. I think they said something like that, but like they got a piece of her bone. Just wow. That's why I'm saying it's so shocking how it just lopped it off clean. Like an angle, like whip.
Wow.
You like that sound effect?
Yeah, whip. I keep thinking that one day they're going to come up with artificial Luke Skywalker type hands, and that people are going to want them instead of regular hands. That's what I'm worried about.
Wow.
If they came up with an arm,
it would sound terrible though, like metal on metal. Unless if you had the skin like simulation, I could play guitar with that. Maybe.
Dude, I'm talking about
probably do some wild shit.
I'm talking about self-healing, bulletproof, spider silk hybrid skin, like that the government's working on. They're working on that right now. They're working on some sort of.
I don't doubt it, man. I
read an article.
You want to hear a wild one? All right, I went on, one night fucking smoking. I went on a little YouTube wormhole situation, and somehow, I don't even know if it's a YouTube video or somewhere else, but I wound up on this video that was like, world's smartest kid thinks that CERN blew the world up in 2008. All right. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go on this video, right? And I'm watching this video, dude. And it's this young kid. He's like 12, and the motherfucker's talking. You got to invest like 20 minutes into this kid talking about things that are super smart. And it's kind of like to show you he's super smart. You know what I mean? This kid. And his dad's doing the recording, I believe, or a relative, somebody very close to him. And he goes into this whole theory of how he thinks when they collided the electrons, I believe, in the super collider, CERN, that they caused some crazy chain reaction that blew up the universe. But they also they created an atom that weighed too much, and the first 20 minutes is also explaining infinite parallel universes. So what the kid winds up with is this theory of like one atom weighing too much and is that being just enough to shift our universe into a parallel universe. Yeah, this is it right here, dude. So this kid had me fucked up because after I watched this, everything I saw for months was talking about, like, it would be a news guy on the news, like, I don't know what universe I'm in anymore, or it's Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Like everything I saw for like 4 or 5 months after watching this video was like multiverse shit. Like shit about multiverses, and it's got me fucked up, Joe.
I hear you. I'm fucked up too now.
Fucked up, man.
Read this that paragraph. Look at what it says there. He claims that CERN destroyed the universe during recent experiments, which has resulted in us living in a nearby parallel universe instead.
You're welcome, Eddie.
There's a lot of people online that think this is an explanation for all the Mandela Effect things that people keep finding
he goes
online.
into stuff about the Mandela Effect, how there's like apparently a bunch of people who think Mandela died in prison,
right?
And like there's as far as I know, he was released, became president of South America. That's the universe I'm from, just personally. But it's crazy, dude. Because it's not just this video. It's like you watch it, and that YouTube algorithm starts sending you down a whole bunch of other. You start hearing and it's like and then again, everything that came out, there was all these shows I would see or movies or news things about the multiverse. All of a sudden, was everywhere around me. It was fucking nutty, dude. So I'm fucked up about that shit right now.
Well, if there was something they could do, that might open up a door to a parallel universe, you don't think they would do it?
Stranger Things, you mean?
Yeah.
Say that's
this
the goal.
Is Stranger Things. I mean, things are strange, right? It is Stranger Things.
Bizarro world.
You know what's the weirdest one? Is the people that dismiss climate change. That is the weirdest one to me. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's the benefit of dismissing climate change, other than if you work for like the oil industry or something.
Well, Iceland just lost a glacier.
Yeah.
Like they just posted a whole thing of 10 or 80, like something in the 80s, a glacier picture of it, and just now, and it's gone.
But I'm not even saying like blaming anybody for it. I'm saying dismissing it as an issue. I'm like, let's pretend that people have nothing to do with it. I wish people had nothing to do with it. Because then we can go, holy fuck, it's getting hot. Like, how hot is it going to get? Like, we could just figure it out. Like, if it was just
record at this point, it's 2 degrees. The oceans are hotter than they've been.
But do you know how people do that? Where they try to say, "Well, this is a natural cycle." This is something that some people still say, right? Okay, even if it was just a natural cycle, I wish humans weren't in the equation at all, so there was no argument. I wish it would just be like, "Hey guys, it's getting really hot. What the fuck do we do?" As if we had no control over it whatsoever. Not saying that we shouldn't take steps to fix it. We definitely should. But I'm saying that if it was impossible for people to have created it and it was happening around us, maybe we would be forced to do something. Maybe we'd be forced to go to higher ground, get the fuck out of the really hot spots, make your way towards Canada. Maybe that would what we would do if there was no other way. But we know that at least part of what the problem is people. At least part of what the problem. But so many people they want to start arguments about that and fight that. And to me, it's so strange. It's like, what's the benefit of arguing against that it's happening? I don't understand. Like, it's happening. You see it getting warmer. You see the statistics. You see everybody freaking out. The Amazon's on fire. Have you seen that?
Yes. No, it's fucking horrifying.
You see those photos from Sao Paulo?
They're just, and I believe it's purposeful.
I have heard that is that some people are.
It's being burnt away on purpose, is what I'm. The things I've read or understood, I won't swear their truth because again, now that's one of the things. What you're saying is you got to question everything now. Truth has been compromised, man. You know what I mean? No matter what side of whatever you are on, truth has been seriously compromised because there's a counter opinion to everything, and if you're not adept enough to really get involved and find factual information, you can literally counter any argument there is. Yeah. With something. Oh, I read this. Well, I read this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean either one of those things are true. Let's go find the truth. That doesn't exist anymore because people just want to Google that shit, get on, and move on with their day. And it's laziness on our part. A lot of people don't want them. It's like fucking this thing that everybody's posting with the goddamn fucking Instagram. I don't give you permission.
Yeah, so silly.
I read a whole other thing that says the average American, I believe, signs 1 or 2 legal documents a day without reading them, and just by logging into shit on your phone, Amazon or Instagram or whatever. Every time you do that, you subscribe and adhere to their terms and conditions. You think a picture of a copy and pasted Instagram thing over something that was from Facebook fucking 12 years ago it's bananas. Well, it's bananas.
People get roped into things. One person.
I see smart people posting and saying better safe than sorry.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
But what argument is that?
Well, they don't know how to internet. I'm
just saying, even if it's like you suspect it's wrong, but fuck it anyways. Right. It's like, wait, that's if you suspect it's wrong, take the extra time or just
Yeah.
don't do it at all.
Yeah. Like, what? Do you really
And I'm
think
just using
would
that
be
as
the
an
loophole?
example of how
Yeah.
why what the state of things are as they are.
Yeah, it's a sneaky little loophole. It's a sneaky little thing that happens to you. You have to. Everybody's posting something stupid. Did you send it to me? Oh, well, Everlast sent it to me. It must be legit. Let me just post it. You know, I mean, how many times have you done that? I've done that all the time.
I posted something clowning it, and then immediately after it, Dana came up. It was him posting the exact thing, and with the whole like better safe than sorry thing.
Christ.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, oh dude.
They got everybody though. They got that fucking Rick Perry guy.
Everybody.
Isn't Rick Perry's job to like fucking protect the nukes or something?
I saw a governor or something post it too.
What is Rick Perry? They said Rick Perry, but he has a specific job in the government.
It's like the energy secretary. I think.
He's like in control of the nukes, right? Is that what it is?
If you're the energy secretary, yeah, you are.
I don't know. Whatever the fuck he is, he's got a big job, and he fell for it. It's
Bizarro world.
We're
man.
in Bizarro world. Maybe that fucking kid is right.
I'm telling you, dude, you're gonna be calling me in a couple nights like, fuck you, dude. Why did you even tell me about that?
I've bounced the idea of multiple universes many times.
We all have, but this kid, watch it. Just you're gonna give it 20 minutes or 15, 18 minutes, whatever it is, and then you'll be like, oh wow, it's not that it's fact. But it's like, wow, that's super possible. It's super, super possible the way he breaks it down.
What about this? What if every time you went to sleep and you woke up, you passed into a nearby and very similar universe, but not quite the same? And depending upon your choices and how you live your life, it's how you wake up and what new one you pop into on the other side. And everyone's just a little bit different. The whole world changes just a little bit each time you make a decision, one way or another. Everything changes when you wake up. You think the world is static because it is when you're awake. But you have no fucking idea what's happening while you're asleep. And when you wake up again, you have this foggy recollection of the past. And that's what you're going by. You're going by every morning waking up with a foggy recollection of the past. That's what you're doing. And you're assuming that nothing's changed and everything's static. And while you were asleep for 8 hours, nothing weird happened. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. You're dreaming. You're having crazy fantasies and shit. Weird stuff is happening. You're fucking mermaids. You're flying through the air on a helicopter. You know, weird things happen when you're dreaming. What is all that about? Yeah. We don't even know. We have no idea what that is. That soup of possibilities that's fucking swirling around in between your ears while you're snoring up a storm. And then, boom, you wake up. Are you sure those memories are real? Are you sure that this isn't a whole completely new universe that you're living in today?
Or assimilation.
Or simulation. There was someone.
I said simulation.
Simulation. I think that's a baby
I will call
formula.
myself out on that one right there.
There was some fucking another genius super wizard kid who was talking about that something about simulations. I forget what.
I was high at the house with the guy who runs my studio, Divine, and we were just fucking laughing, talking shit one day high. Like what if like I may have heard this. I could have been on your show. I could have read this. So I'm not claiming like ownership of the thought. But it was like, what if like we just come from a universe like that's so perfect and shit, and it's boring as fuck. And we just plug in to have all these fucked up, like, weird problems. And that's why everything's getting fucking weirder and crazier. Because, like, that's kind of why we're here. That's part of the ride, you know?
That could be it. It could be the only way you appreciate love is to know hate. They'll really appreciate it. And it could be the only way we would appreciate all the good that we have is to balance it out with all the bad that we have. And when they start to overwhelm each other one way or the other, there's an imbalance that takes place, and it leads to all of our fucking problems as a society. And when you think about how long you're going to be alive and what it is that you're doing here and why you're doing it, you know, all those weird questions and answers that go on inside your head, it's all, you're distributing energy, right? You're trying to figure out, am I distributing my energy right? Am I living my life in a way that is like the best I can do with what I've got right now?
That's it.
All these mind fucks.
That's all you got to do, though. I mean, honestly, even no matter what we're saying, if you woke up every day and that was your objective, you couldn't really go or do much wrong.
No, you can't. And what if every day when you did that, you woke up in a nearby universe that was just a little bit different because of what you thought and did?
Dude, that's like, that's a movie.
Some magic type
that's
shit,
a movie,
Everlast.
Man. That's a movie.
Some magic type shit.
Oh, you went. I see. I was okay. I was being. I just was like trying to be not such a glutton. There we go.
Salute.
DJ Melody over there. I just wanted to.
Cheers. How about cheers? Let's go American. God damn it. Cheers. DJ. Yeah, you got a DJ, bro. The only guy ever.
I see. Here's the thing. I believe besides myself is Honey Band.
Yeah, I think they're the only other
ones that have done music on the show, right?
Not totally true. Is that true? You might be right. You were definitely the first. And then Gary Clark brought his guitar, but we just chilled.
I'm a huge fan of that.
I think Sturgill brought his guitar the first time. He might not even brought his guitar the first time.
Sturgill Simpson?
Sturgill, yeah.
Oh, I hung out with him once at a sneaker shop on Melrose.
They have a new song that he just released. His new album is fucking incredible. I got a chance to listen to it in advance before it's released, and they just released something on YouTube. It's like this Japanese anime with what's the name of the actual video so people could find it on YouTube?
Sing Along.
Sing Along. It's a fucking amazing song, but the video is cool as shit, man. It's all this Japanese anime. So he did all of this. They did like all these crazy animations. It's like a film that takes place while the album plays.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's
so
dope.
it's all coordinated to the songs. I mean, he's been working on this shit forever. He's been flying back and forth to Japan and L.A. I mean, this is a labor of love.
No, I like Dude's style.
Incredible.
I met him, like I said, my buddy owns a sneaker shop on Melrose, and he was, I guess, a bit of a sneakerhead himself. So
really?
We politicked one day and talked some shit.
He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, I like the style,
the
music, the country kind of outlawish, but big bandish.
Yeah,
stuff
you know what I love about
that
guy? He didn't even try to go for it as a professional musician until he was like 36. His wife talked him into it. His wife was like, you don't suck. That's like what she said to him.
that's great. That's high praise.
And she's like, "You're fucking good," and he went for it.
From somebody who wakes up with you and goes to bed with you, it's like you don't suck. I mean, that's high praise.
But he had like crazy jobs, like railroad worker, shit like that. Like did a bunch of like regular jobs, and just was writing music and singing music, and then she convinced him to go for it. Yeah, he's an unusual character, man. All this new stuff is different. It's like he used to be. You would think of him as country. Like you don't even know what to say now. Like this new stuff is not country. It's wild though. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's like this kind of hybrid rock thing he's doing, but it's pretty fucking badass.
This says Waylon had sex with Queens of the Stone Age while the Black Keys watched. First comment on the video.
Who said that? Who named that guy?
Top comment, Shelby Riley.
Shelby Riley.
Yeah.
Congrats,
you won.
You won the internet for the day. That is exactly what it sounds like. It's really good stuff, man. Out. He's a beast.
Sing Along, you said that was called?
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's doing weird shit.
That's the only thing to do, man. It's, and weird shit in the sense of like, shit that excites you. So it's like, I've never tried to make the same thing twice, because it's like I want to be excited. I want to be scared to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be like, oh, that didn't work. Next time.
Yeah. Well, you've always switched shit up. That's one of the more interesting things about you. It's like when you were doing What It's Like, and when you switched up to like Whitey Ford Sings the Blues, everybody was like, whoa. Like, what is this? This is the Jump Around guy. This is the House of Pain guy. But it felt so easy to digest for most people because this is before I knew you, and I was like, it's so easy because it's so authentic. Like, it's very obvious that this was.
Thank you.
The kind of music that you were writing was like music that like came from your feelings and your soul. It was like, wow, this is real shit.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago.
Dude, What It's Like was a classic. classic. Yeah. That was a classic. That was one of those songs was like, that's a heartfelt song. That's a soul-filled song. You know? That's like a universal song.
Yeah, I went to New York. I had left House of Pain and went to New York with a buddy of mine and was just kind of sleeping on his couch, and he had a guitar there. I started strumming it one night and singing these little words, and he came bursting out of his room in the back like, what the fuck is that? And kind of was like, we're recording that tomorrow. We were making a rap record. I was like there to like just kind of further, you know, the rap career, and nobody really knew I played guitar and stuff like that a little bit. So, but it was his encouragement that definitely came back. Like when he was like, I think he was with a broad back there, and he just heard the song and jumped out. Like, wow, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And so the next day, they basically forced me to record it. So I had to finish, right? I had wrote it like that night. I think I had the first part, the whole liquor store, guy at the liquor store thing. Yeah. But I didn't really have anything else. But he heard that part and was like, yo, you need to finish that.
When you get those ideas, when they come to you, what does that feel like? Does it feel like a gift comes out of the universe and all of a sudden it's coming out of your mouth?
The really good ones, yeah. You know what I mean? What blows my mind, and I'm going to flip it on you real quick, is the comic art arc of you get to work this thing out for a whole long time, and if you're really successful on your level type thing, then you shoot a special and that joke kind of goes away. You can't, you don't really get to tell that anymore. Different. And that blows my mind, because like my whole thing is like, work this thing out and build this thing that I can go out and play every night for the rest of my life. So like you know what I mean, like, so all the kudos being thrown back and forth. When I look at you or any amazing comedian that just turns it around and every year, 2 years is belting out these fucking funny ass specials, and then like you can't do that anymore. Like, you know, unless you're Andrew Dice Clay with the little fucking hickory dickory dock, you know, and you got the little, you know.
He's the only guy ever that you want to hear the old stuff over and over and over again. Like,
or I don't know,
you'll see a whole set of just rhymes.
Or even like, and now there's like, are you familiar with this, with Little Duval, the comedian? You know, and the whole singing, like, I mean, he's like turning it into, he's flipping this like whole script on what comedy and music and entertainment is right now. He's kind of doing some really fucking interesting shit.
He's also got a bunch of crazy shit going on his Instagram. His Instagram's hilarious too. He's got something I need him to explain.
It's one of my favorite follows
City
in the universe. Yeah, no. He starts cultural phenomena.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Like, he sets shit off. Like, I've watched him say some shit on his Instagram and will it into existence, and it becomes like a trend, or the songs he's written.
Yes.
It's just like, it's amazing. It's like special. Really like, no, it's one of my favorite follows, honestly.
Yeah, he's something special. Andrew Schultz really made me take I knew about that song Smile Bitch. I actually found out about that song because Stylebender would come out to fight with Smile Bitch. And he came out to fight with him. He talked about it. He goes, I love Lil Duval. I'm like, oh, let me check out Lil Duval. And I was like, God damn, this guy's good. And then Andrew Schultz says, yo, he's a comedian. And he goes, he's one of the most insightful and brilliant people I've ever met. And just like almost like a naturally curious guy.
You need to get him on.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen.
That'd be
Schultz
amazing. It's going to be great.
Schultz is a wizard. If Schultz tells me that someone's good, I'll buy it.
Yeah, and it's like, and he was early internet, like, dude, like, he's been working these, like, internet angles, kind of like you, got in really early, saw something he liked, and
he's got his own thing going on with, he's got his own thing going on with that whole City Boys, Country Boys thing.
But that's all in relation to the song I
know, but it's hilarious how people, like, it's like the a
points
daily
back
thing.
And forth. Man, anybody, if you don't follow him, go.
Go follow him. He's one of the best follows.
Lil Duval, just shoot me some tickets to your next show in L.A. I'm a huge fan. That's it. I mean, go however millions on this show. Follow Little Duval because he's hilarious and funny. And yes, sir.
Follow him to make sure that he's not really shadow banned anymore.
That shit's crazy. I got a friend who's going through that right now. Like where like they just disappear off the like shit when you search for him.
He's up there now.
They're ghosting you.
I feel like it's.
Oh, it's there. You can find him. Okay, good. Yeah.
There you are.
I'm telling you, man. You couldn't find him for a while.
There you go, Andrew.
It was tricky. It was very tricky. Very tricky back in the day.
Yeah. Awesome.
Lil Duval. So what do you want to do today, man? You got a DJ?
I brought a little, we got a few things to do. We could do for you. I brought a little, I've come here with just a guitar with a keyboard player. And I was like, I'm gonna bring my man from the world famous Beat Junkies, DJ Melody, over here.
I like to
they got their own university, Beat Junkies Institute of Technology. Sound. Beat Junkies Institute of Sound in Glendale, California. DJ Melody. Shout out to Babu, J-Rock, all the homies.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, you know how we do. But yeah, we got some things you want us to get into something?
Let's get into something.
Let's do it. I'm going to move over here real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's only you and Honey Honey. I really do. I think so, right?
I actually,
the only people
I
that
feel
have
like
performed
that. Here. Yeah. All right. DJ Melody in the house. Yeah. Joe Rogan experience. Everlast. Come on. Brand new sneakers and a fat gold chain. We do the good cocaine, and we don't feel no pain. And no, we don't complain. Everywhere I go, people know my name. We got the money and fame, and they don't treat me the same. And no, I don't come back with status, laughs and Stillmatic. Born to cause static like radical fanatic. Jump out the bins with my semi-automatic and rob all my friends like a fucking drug addict. I'm revolutionary, I'm very necessary. You couldn't bust a cherry, fuck your commentary. I'm so legendary, born again rhymer. Youngsters act scary when they're around the old timer. Like yes sir, no sir, truly it's an honor. Farmer up drama, harvesting karma, kamikaze die bomber on suicide mission. My mental condition about to come to fruition. I'm all natural, no preservative, child superlative. You don't deserve to live, we never truly die, and God was never born. Tell your vision lies, watch that murder porn. Brand new sneakers and a fat gold chain. We do the good cocaine, and we don't feel no pain. And no, we don't complain. And everywhere I go, people know my name. We got the money and fame, and they don't treat me the same. And no, I don't complain. I smoke like Willie, I party like Waylon. I'm wilder than David Lee Roth and Van Halen. I'm bad shit crazier than Ye and Sarah Palin. Here's the smooth sailing on all these rough waters. Mothers love their son, fathers love their daughters. All the things they give us, all the things they bought us. The love that first made us, all the things they taught us. Like doing unto others, and loving all your brothers, and helping out your neighbors when they need a hand. But everyone went solo with my plug like viola. When it's hard to tell a woman sometimes from a man. So all the confusion, and everybody's losing, living fake lives up on Instagram. But everything's funny when you front for your money, while the devil executes his fucking master plan. Like brand new sneakers and a fat gold chain. We do the good cocaine, and we don't feel no pain. And no, we don't complain. And everywhere I go, people know my name. We got the money and fame, and they don't treat me the same. And no, I don't complain. You know I don't complain. Brand new sneakers and a fat gold chain. We do the good cocaine, and we don't feel no pain. No, we don't complain. Yeah.
Woo! That was great.
Thank you, sir.
Like it. This is a new one?
Yeah.
Is this released?
Yeah, it is. You know what happened was, right, we didn't even, when I came in last time, I think we agreed to just fucking not talk about the fires and shit. Like,
right.
We were both like kind of a little traumatized, I think.
Right.
And because what happened was I put this record out I think October.
Right.
Hit the road and was, maybe 2 weeks in, and get a picture of my house on fire. And had to fly home. So yeah, this record's out, but we're right now in the project. Right now, I just shot a video for a new song, and we're re-releasing because I own everything. It's my label. We're just gonna re-release, OG Everlast on all the whatever's, formats. You can find me.
Do you feel like when you get through something like a fire with your family that, like, for some inexplicable reason, you feel like a little bit closer?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, my wife and children were in the house when it was caught fire, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Not literally, here's how it went down. Let's tell the story, right? Basically, like I said, I was in New York. I get a call from the wife. The fire's right across the hill. Like, I live literally like Simi Valley, then the mountains, bang. I'm kind of the first line right there once you come over those mountains. So I get a picture like from her, like across the street from me, the hill's just like, it looks like a hell landscape. You know what I mean? It's fucking just on fire. Mm-hmm. And so they're packing up and they're getting ready to get out. And there's a fire truck in the neighborhood, thank goodness. And as my wife's putting the final like stuff in the car, like the kids are already in there, she's putting all the dogs and whatever other the medicines and stuff we need for Layla. And she turns around and sees like on the corner of the garage like an orange kind of glow. And the thing about this is, like, people think the fire comes and hits the street and then jumps and burns all these houses. That's not what happens. If you ever notice in the middle, if you're watching the news shit, it's like one random house in the neighborhood burnt. It's trees. Mm-hmm. It's having a tree right on your house that's touching your house. Well, I happen to have a tree right there that was touching the corner of my garage. The tree went up. That thing caught. Garage went. About a third of the house went. You know what I mean? Where everybody was out already. My wife was able to, the only reason a third of the house and the whole, like, my wife saved our whole block, honestly, because there's trees between all of our houses, like for privacy, because everybody has a pool and everybody wants, nobody wants to be in 2-story houses, all that shit. So everybody just has these big, huge, like those just spiny looking trees, you know what I mean? That turn into a wall, basically.
Right.
The whole block would have went up. Had she not been there and had the wherewithal to run down the block and get the firemen that had just drove by and say, come back and fucking put this out.
She actually ran down
She
there?
ran down the block, dude, and got it done. She's a gangster.
The fires
She's a gangster.
that were out here were it's so hard for people to understand what it was like.
It was frightening.
It was like a war.
It was frightening.
It was like we were at war with a natural force. It was very strange, man. It's like everybody was holed up together. Me and my family, we got a hotel in town with a bunch of our friends.
We were texting.
From the neighborhood.
We were texting back and forth.
And Tommy and his wife, Tom Segura and his wife, they came over too, and we were all in the same place. And it was like we were all like refugees for like a small, tiny period of time. It makes you realize how fortunate we really are to be here in this, in this place like where we're at right now, where we don't have to deal with most of the bullshit that people are dealing with all over the world, man. We just, one day of fire, 1 week of fire, whatever it was, it freaked everybody out and scared the shit, and a lot of people lost their lives, or houses rather. A lot of people lost their lives in Northern California, right?
Yeah, no, that's why it's
that was
like
even worse than down
you couldn't
here,
even.
right?
You couldn't even like really get a perspective like for your own shit, because the minute you wanted to like do that, you saw an entire town flattened in like an hour.
Yeah, they lost people on the highway.
Yeah.
People were trying to get out on the highway and they get caught in their cars and they caught fire. Man, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And there's for the people that survived, like for us, and it sounds ridiculous to call yourself a survivor. It's not like it was a war, but it's something that you really understand. When you get through that, you're like, wow, like we are barely in control of our own environment, barely. And all it takes is one good strong wind, one good fucking hot day, one good gust of fire, and next thing you know, everything's on fire. I mean, that was nuts.
The kids are still dealing with it, trying to explain that thing to the kids of like that universal unsurety. Like, there's just not really, honey, I'm going to keep you as safe as I can. But if you really want the absolute truth, I can only tell you that some shit happens.
Yeah.
And, it was actually another big fire somewhere. Oh, as oddly enough, when Notre Dame caught fire, it was all on the news, and my daughter, my oldest, was like, "Oh, that caught fire," you know, because I proposed to my wife in Paris, so like we talk about Paris a lot. So she, you know, looks forward to all that she wanted to see. She was really interested in Notre Dame when the thing burnt. But something about that burning, and when it did, and she saw it, she was like, "Oh, it can happen anywhere." And it kind of dawned on her, like, okay, it's not just there, that place. Because for a long time, I couldn't even drive by the house with her, like to go check on it or something. And if she was in the car, my wife either, because she just didn't want to be over there. Right. And then after that, it kind of changed, and she kind of realized, like, well, I guess it's kind of can happen anywhere.
Yeah, if it can happen in Notre Dame.
Which was a crazy thing to witness happen in a human person, like come to that understanding of like, wow, shit's just not guaranteed, like in a weird way, you know what I mean?
But isn't there kind of there's a magic in that?
Yeah.
If you can get through, if you're one of the survivors, there's a magic in that doesn't exist without the possibility of that.
I have people asking me, what are you going to do? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you're going to build a house in the same spot? I'm like, fucking goddamn right. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I don't live in like some crazy bizarro like place. I'm going to build my house right where it was.
I think
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Build a house on the top of a hill that's made
put the sprinklers
concrete.
on your house. Like people have the sprinklers.
Yes.
There was cats that whole neighborhoods burnt down, and then one house had the sprinklers. That house was pristine.
The problem with that is you do get survivor syndrome. You feel weird. You get survivor guilt of the first 3 houses in front of me. Right in front of my house.
You know what?
3 houses gone.
That I could understand that if you were like the guy who kind of futuristically predicted a fire and put that on but after now it's like, yo, if you didn't put shit on now, everybody knows about that shit now. So put that shit on your house. So like, you know, if you're gonna live in one of these areas, we're basically in California, they're telling us now this might be a new norm. You know what I mean? These kind of fires.
That's so
you know.
crazy. So,
because there hadn't been one in the area, you know, those areas like Agora Hills and Simi Valley. There hadn't been one for many, like a couple decades, I believe.
Climate change is not real.
No, it's fake. It's fake news.
Something's clearly happening, right? This is not normal. Right? If you had a guess?
Not in my 36 years.
So it seems like there's been an adjustment.
I've been the same Irish white motherfucker all my life, and I didn't burn like this when I was young.
When did you move to LA?
Oh, I've been here most of my life. Like I was born in New York and whatever, and probably did the kindergarten part of first grade out there, and then my dad was a construction dude. Like during the '70s boom of like Simi Valley and all that shit and being built, he came out during that era.
Nobody talked about crazy fires back then. Did they? They didn't, right?
No, not really.
I got evacuated for the first time while we were filming Fear Factor. And I remember I was driving home, and it started, there was a fire. It seemed like it was a little bit out of control. I'm like, wow, this is crazy, and I'm driving to work. And then we filmed the day, and then as we're driving home, people are letting us know, hey, man, this is bad. This has gotten really bad. And as we're driving home, a guy got hit by a car, and he got killed. And I didn't see his body, but I saw his shoe. And we're like passing by where like all these people were freaking out because a guy apparently just tried to run into the highway and some guy hit him because he was panicking because there was a bunch of shit going on. There was fire. I don't know if he was panicking, but something happened. The guy got hit by a car. So it has this ominous feeling of, whoa, somebody just died. And we're driving down this highway and the whole right side is on fire. I mean, the whole right side of the highway for an hour, like a Lord of the Rings movie.
Mordor.
Dude, like flakes of ash are falling from the sky like a light snow. It's fucking strange. You're just waiting for demons to come riding on fucking horses over the top of the hills. It's that bad. And by the time I got back, we had to evacuate from our community, and we just got the fuck out of Dodge. That was the first time that had ever happened, ever, for me, living out here since '94. And that was in like 2002, 3, something like that. And then it's happened twice since then. It's a creepy feeling, man. It's creepy. It's like you know that no one can do anything if everything goes wrong. If everything goes wrong, the wind gets too strong and it gets too wide and it goes left and it goes right and everything starts swirling around and ashes fly through the air and they land on other people's houses. Like, you got to get the fuck out of there. Just get out of there. There's a storm of fire.
But like, all right, so I get a picture the last thing before I get on a plane is a picture of my garage engulfed in flames, right? So I get on this plane. I got to take like 3 planes because it's like last minute booking and it's all coach. I'm pissed, you know what I mean? I'm just like tucked in corners on the walls, like everything. I just fly like to Dallas, then to Vegas, and just to get there the quickest. And it was like 3 flights. So I get there. Think the whole way there, I'm like, my house is burned to the ground. You know what I mean? I'm accepting. I'm dealing with those whatever 5 stages of grief, and like I'm getting to acceptance. And then I get home, and I not even at home. My wife and kids are at my studio, and like that's where we're laid up from trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I can't get to the house because the whole 101 shut down that way. I have to literally drive up to Panga, hit the 118, take that all the way out to like the 20, whatever it is, the 23 or the 27. I don't know. It's one of those. No, it's the 23. It's like out there. And you come back down and come around the other way. And I was able to get to the house. I got to the house, like got in my house, literally had 20 fucking cop cars roll in, like, because looting was fucking out of control, dude. In the like Agora and Calabasas areas.
Oak Park too.
It was Oak Park. Yeah, well, that's I think of that as Agora and same thing. Yeah. But yeah, the whole over there was fucking like off the chain with fucking looting. So like I had motherfuckers pull up on me. I literally knew like I brought my lease and my mortgage and my electric bill, and I brought my I had all my shit. So like this is my house, and they were cool. But it was like I pulled up and like saw most of the house standing and like broke down because I'm a big art collector and all. So I was like, I had already like just assumed it was all gone, right? It was crazy. It was a crazy experience to like pull up and like see like 2/3 of it there, and you're like, oh wow, like maybe there's salvage, like in the salvage shit. Like it was like a crazy experience, man. I'm grateful that my family is safe and all that, and all the rest of it is replaceable stuff, but I got extremely lucky.
Yeah, no, the most, I mean, it's like such a cliche thing to say that your health and your happiness and your family is the most important thing. You know that. Everybody knows that. Even a fucking psychopath knows that. But to feel it like in the presence of a natural fury, like fires, like wildfires, it's humbling. And in the strangest of ways, it makes you love each other more. Makes you nicer to people. All my refugee friends, when we're at the hotel that night, the refugees from the fire, we're all like closer. We're like happy.
For sure.
In a weird way. We're having drinks together. We're toasting. We're hugging. We're in a hotel hiding from a natural fury. And you realize like, oh, okay, we get soft when we hit a soft spot, and that's not necessarily good for anybody. And occasionally these are horrific things that happen are good for us overall because they let us appreciate like there's consequences. There's consequences to living here. There's consequences to everything being so hot and dry and never fucking raining, and the fact that it may or may not be getting a little bit warmer.
Maybe.
Who gives a fuck if people have anything to do with it? Who cares? Let's pretend that's not even a factor. Something's happening. We got firestorms. Like every few years, there's a goddamn firestorm.
Craziness, man. And we survived it, brother.
Yeah.
Slancha.
There's only so much shit to think about. Right? But you having gone through that, man, have you written shit that has like the touch of that on it?
I'm like in like a very kind of creative state at the moment. Like, so I don't know what's there's I'm sure there's elements of it in what I'm like starting to play with right now.
Do you sit down and write like on a piece of paper, or do you write while you're playing music?
Yeah. For me, writing is a visual process.
Visual?
Yes, and I can't. If I write it down, it becomes 2-dimensional, and I've written lyrics that I thought were genius and actually committed them to paper and saw them, and it's like they dissolve from this 3-dimensional beauty to like, oh, it's 2-dimensional garbage. It's fucking bizarre, I know. It's not always like reasonable, but it's my process at this point.
How's it visual?
It's if you really listen to my songs, they're like photograph, like it's like flipping through a photographic album almost. If you really listen to like what I'm doing, it's like very visual. I see the pictures. I equate it to like, did you ever watch the show Oz?
Sure. Yeah.
Remember the poet guy who was illiterate, but he drew pictures, and that's how he recited his poems from pictures. It's similar. It's like, but it's kind of reverse. It's in my brain. It's there.
So you're saying you're visual in terms of like the stories that you're painting, like the guy outside the liquor store,
or the imagery. Yes. Or like, you know, a song like Black Jesus, where it's like just kind of cultural, like fucking pop culture reference after reference leading down a path of just like stream of consciousness, pop culture references. You know what I mean? I'll go on tangents, you know what I mean? But it'll be all within an energy inside the brain, you know what I mean? Like once I commit them, even like after the fact, like when you turn in like music to like entities that shows or whatever, they want to know the lyrics so they can know if they should put it on air or this, you know, it depends on whatever, if it's public network. But even when it comes to that, I have to like recite it to somebody and have them type it. I can't, it'll just kind of taint it to me.
Wow, that's interesting.
To see it written down like
it's
that.
all
in my hand. You know what I mean? And in another hand, it doesn't bother me. But like for me to do it, it like it breaks a barrier of some sort, and everything vaporizes.
So do you? How do you capture the various beats? Do you record it as you're coming up with it?
There's a few different ways it happens for me. Like, you know, if I'm doing like a hip hop ish or pure hip hop project, there'll be a beat involved always first. You know, I mean, there'll be somebody have a track, and we'll be like, oh, that's the track we're gonna commit to. And we'll write lyrics to it, and it'll be just kind of like I said, I'll drive around a lot with rap stuff and just let it bump and see what words start popping up. I like wordplay and bouncing wordplay, but it can't just be wordplay for the sake of it. It has to like tie into some sort of like idea. When it comes to a song, it's usually I string together some simple chord progression and start and see and if once I see something I really like, it'll just, like I said, pictures will start coming up, and you kind of just try to describe the picture a little bit, and sometimes you come across poetry when you're describing the picture, and you'll be like, that's good. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like, nah, that's not good. Nah, that's not good. There's a lot of that.
It seems like a mirror process to stand-up comedy. Like a mirror process.
Except I get to hold on to mine. Even if they record it and make a special, I still can play mine. And that's what I was like, man, comedians are just, that's a little it's a different commitment, because like you're like, it's almost like a child you're raising that you have to watch the life of it finish. In a weird way. I'm not, you know what I mean? We both have children. That's extreme, but
I know what you're saying.
But like, you're taking this idea from kind of garbagey idea that, you know, there's a premise there, and then like over a fucking series of fucking shows or nights or fucking maybe months, you find it, you know, with different audiences, and then you got it, and you get to rock it for maybe 6 months good in all these places, and then you go and record it and make that special if you're lucky enough to be on that level. You know, it's almost like I almost envy the comic. I wonder if you guys ever envy the comic who doesn't quite have that yet, so he has this, you know, bevy of material that he hasn't had to trash yet. You know what I mean?
I just talked to Roy Wood about that. It was just on right before you. That's one of the things that he said, that you shouldn't do TV for like 10 years. Like, don't do. It's like
have a catalog, man. You know what I mean?
People come up with that idea that like the first time you do anything that people get to see, like be hardened, like be a polished samurai of stand-up, you know. But I disagree. I say let them see everything. Let them see all the bullshit, all the stuff that sucks, all the terrible jokes. Who cares? Just keep going.
Especially if the progression's there, then it's like, oh, you see what
just
happened.
Keep going, and it's good for everybody. People don't want to think you're just like someone who just figured it out instantly. No, it's good to see that you sucked. It's good for everybody. It might be bad for your ego, but it's good for you when your ego takes a hit. It's always good. It's always good. It puts everything in perspective. You know, don't you think, like, as an artist too, like the thing that gets in your way more than anything is your ego, right? The thing that gets in the way more than anything is
for sure
the way you view yourself, the way you want people to view you.
I wouldn't produce my own records until like maybe 2 albums ago, because I felt like if I'd made it through an album without being like seriously challenged, I didn't make the best record I could. And then just being involved with a bunch of really seriously good producers, I learned to challenge myself. And even the records I've produced for myself, there's other guys involved producing with me that I know are going to be the ones, if that's something, hey, that sucked. Right. You know what I mean? You can need that guy around, or even a guy just to challenge even how committed you are to certain ideas. You know what I mean?
How much time do you spend going over, like when you have a song and you're like, I think this song is solid? Do you outside of singing the song, do you ever go over the song and ponder like what you're saying or how you're saying it? Like how do you? Because your stuff is so. It's so interesting because you're telling these stories of your experiences in these songs, in a lot of them, and you're also having fun, and you're also talking shit. You're having a good time with them as well. But when you decide, okay, this one is going to be recorded like this, how do you make that conclusion?
For me, it's again, if there's not like. Because I can also, even if I'm not doing necessarily a straight rap song, there's times when I get a track from a producer that I just love the track, and I'll build something around that. Other than that, it'll again start with a guitar, and I'll either create a very rudimentary drum beat and lay down the guitar and maybe a vocal. And I have a very unique voice, you know. It's not like it's so there between the guitar and the voice, tones start appearing that like resemble other instruments to me. Like it almost starts telling you what to do. Oh, it sounds. I could hear a Rhodes in there, or the bass line should do that. You know, you can hear that. And the guys I surround myself with are beasts that hear the same. You know, they know. Oh yeah, I hear that. Let's do. You know, it's you can start a song will tell you what to do with it. You know, if you really listen to it. I believe that because I kind of, one of the things Santana told me, that I always held on to is like, and I've experienced this once or twice where I've written very similar songs to friends of mine or people I know that was like, whoa, like maybe not sounding, but like the idea, oh, wow, I wrote something that was exactly. And he said like, we're all just antenna that are like catching energies and shit and like bringing them in, and we're making something out of that energies, and sometimes people catch that same energy and similar things happen, and so I always look at that. I look at my ideas like this, but also because I don't write them down, I equate it to like my children like this. Like my ideas are like little animals that are wild, and I see them and I think they're amazing, and I want to, so I'll play a song till I know it so well. It has to stick around. I train it to stay, and if it stays the next morning, this kind of answers your question. The next day, if I'm on to something and I write a song, I'll sing it 200 times if I get it close to done, and then I'll go to bed. And then if it's there in the morning in the same form, I'll record it. If it's gone, it wasn't mine. And that's happened a lot. Dude,
that's a brave move.
Yeah.
I have the opposite coward's approach.
Yeah.
If I get an idea, I'll run away from everybody with my fingers in my ears and write it down.
Now, hear what I said. I'll sing it 200 times. You know what I mean? So if I've done it 200 times and I don't wake up and know it, it's fucking trash.
I write everything down.
It's not supposed to happen.
I have the total opposite approach in terms of writing comedy. I write.
How many specials have you made in your life?
I never counted.
Rough guess.
It's like 8 or 9.
Okay. All right. That's how many albums I've done in almost 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not turning them out like that. And I don't, again, because of that, there's not like this crazy archive of garbage that's going to be released when I'm dead. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because even songs that I start to record, if I get halfway through with it and I'm like not even satisfied with it, it gets erased.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a few things out there that I probably wouldn't have released, but they're like from House of Pain days.
Yeah.
And they're not bad. I'm just like they didn't have a purpose.
I think it's good for people to see bad shit from great artists. I do. I think it's good. It's good for everybody.
I have no problem. I mean, I'm the guy that I'll fuck up live and talk about it for 5 minutes at a show. and be like, yo, at least you know it's not on fucking tape, right? I'll be like, that's real shit, you know. And I'll, you know, I'm with that. I'm just like, it's my process. It's like just the way I do. Like, you know, again, also I think it has to do with, I had some really hardcore producers like DJ Muggs and my man Dante Ross. These were dudes that would be like, that fucking was garbage. Do it again. It's for so long that the first time now is gonna be decent. You know what I mean? So it's like I got to push myself for it to be better than decent. You know. You know what I mean?
No, so, I get it.
Otherwise, I just clip it.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way you could be as productive as you are. Like you have a well-oiled approach, you know.
But I don't put out a lot of music.
But when I know for a fact that when you put something out, you're happy about it.
Oh yeah, I'm content.
That's when you put it out.
Content with
that's it. You're in a great position, man. That you can kind of sort of decide what to do and when to do it.
Writing 3 of the biggest songs of the 90s with What It's Like, Jump Around, and Put Your Lights On. Well, that was 2000, I think. So, but that little period, I know, and I wrote those songs, Jump Around with Muggs, What It's Like, and Put Your Lights On, totally on my own. That provided me with something that I cherish, like some people cherish private jet rides, which is I can do whatever the fuck I want and still live pretty decent, not super rich guy or anything, but like better than average.
No, you got a
good
great
life,
approach. Take
care of my family, but creatively I could do whatever the fuck I want. No, and it's a beautiful thing, man. That's the older I get, like I'm on my whole new shit. My slogan is "Fuck it, I'm 50, man." That's my new shit, dog. I'm on like you ain't gonna rattle me, man. I'm 50. I don't even care. How's that? If you're
good. I like
there you
it.
go. I'm just trying to have fun, live my life, go home, hug my kids, and fucking know that nobody fucked with them at school and they had a great day, and then my universe is complete.
Yes. Yeah. Fucking I'm 50.
Fuck it. I'm 50.
Yeah. Beautiful. We need more people to think like that, man. We're wasting time doing that.
I had a heart valve replacement at 28, dude. I didn't think I was going to make 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 50s.
People, put that microphone on the chest.
Oh, we haven't done that in a while. So here, anybody who don't know, this is a heartbeat. It's not a watch. It's my heartbeat. It's like a goddamn metronome.
Whoa.
You know, it's titanium, man.
Wrap your head around that.
You know, I got alien technology in my chest, my dude.
Hope it stays together. Hope the doors don't fly off that thing. Click, click, click. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's basically a very simple thing. It's like a ring that goes in the valve, and it's like a spring kind of activated flap that is totally self-propelled by the heart's pumping of the blood. It pumps the blood out of the flap, then the flap kind of snaps back, and that's what you're hearing is the tick, is just the spring of that. And it's all, I mean, I could take my pulse with just sitting here, dude. You know what I mean? I could take my pulse without even thinking about it.
Modern technology is so amazing.
St. Jude's valve.
Shout out to the St. Jude's people.
Whoever invented that shit, Gleep Glorp from the motherfucking Vega star system, whatever.
They can figure out a way to make your heart work again with a fake valve. Click, click, click.
It's wild.
And that's why you're here.
That's why I'm still here, man.
It's amazing.
I often wondered afterwards, like, why? What killed John Ritter? What killed him was exactly kind of what happened to me. But I was able to get to the hospital faster.
Did you ever meet that guy?
No. But I know that, like, when it happened, like, people pointed it out. Like, isn't that what happened to you? I was like, oh, yeah, that was.
He was a special dude. He was on an episode of News Radio. Everybody loved him, man. Like, so nice. Like, wandering around the set, like, friendly to everybody. Like, in a weird way. He's just a genuinely really nice guy who just loved making sitcoms. And, when he died, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's one of them things that's just
so nice.
Out of nowhere.
But when you find out that someone that's like, you feel like, nothing's going to happen to him. He's so nice. And then one day, the clutch of death.
I was told by the people at the hospital when I went back to visit once that a while after they had brought me in, because it took them a minute to figure out what was wrong with me. The only reason they figured out what was wrong with me is because my actual doctor who's this guy in Beverly Hills. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants that, but he was a member on the board of Cedars-Sinai. So when they brought me in the hospital, all his records are computer accessible to them. So they found out about my history of like being born with this heart defect, and because up until then they heard rock dude, he's a musician. They were like, all right, how much cocaine did you do? And all my friends were trying to tell me he doesn't do cocaine. He's not. And they're like, oh no, if we give him the wrong drugs, we could kill him. Like, and then all of a sudden, like the records came through, and that's what saved my ass. That along with the head of surgery there, like the guy who like did a double 9-hour surgery, came off of one, told the guys they couldn't do my surgery because it was too complex. This guy, Dr. William Trento, he's an amazing person. He will not mind me shouting him out. He like goes to South America and does all these free operations on kids' hearts. He's a fucking saint. This guy is, I'll tell you off fucking show some other shit he did that'll blow your fucking mind. Like, wow, that's who does that? But he saved my life. And, I've just been, like I said, I didn't expect to be here. 50. Fuck it. I'm 50, man. I got 2 little girls. It's like my whole thing right now is I want to take my girls, like, in the next, like, week or 2 over to see them. Just to be like, yo, dude, these people wouldn't even exist.
Right.
If it wasn't for you, dude. Like, I think that'd blow his mind a little bit.
Fuck yeah, well. Yeah. Shout out to all the people who fix hearts. All those people.
Fix anything. Fix all things,
Fix all things.
If you fix shit, fucking salute.
Right, that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
You fix stuff.
I don't care if it's a sink or a heart.
Or
if you fix
car.
It, or anything in between, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Fixing shit is good.
Fixing hearts, though, that's like particularly good. Like when that guy sees you on TV and shit, he's probably like, fix that guy.
It's been a minute, but yeah, he probably
fixed that guy. Fixed it up. Fixed it up nice. Fixed it up nice. He enjoys music. Thank you. They enjoy my work.
Fuck it. I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to tell it. Here's the story. Okay. A few years after my heart surgery, like when I had my heart surgery, I didn't have medical insurance. I was young and dumb. Just didn't have it. And so it fucking caused a real fucking, it was like $500,000 fucking hit. You know what I mean? But I didn't declare bankruptcy. I paid it all, and I think this dude heard about that. And I think guys like this must somehow invest in you when they know they saved your fucking life. There's a connection after that. Like, that's one of my guys. That's one of my guys right there. So, a few years later, my mom, when I was young, had I believe Hodgkin's disease is what it was, and she had radiation treatment. And she beat it and all that, but 20 years later, that shit wears on your heart valves and shit. She had to have a triple bypass. Like, it was kind of like, oh shit, like I was out on tour. I had to come home, I was like, I want that guy to do the surgery just because he'd already done mine.
Yeah.
So he does my mom's surgery, and this guy I get all the bills, and then now I'm doing all right. So it was cool. I get a bill from the fucking anesthesiologist. I get a bill from the fucking operating room. I get a bill from the hospital. I get a bill from this. I never got a bill from this man for my mom's surgery. Dude just was like, nah, that one's on me.
Wow.
Fucking crazy.
Who gets a surgery done on them?
Right?
That's an amazing guy.
It was crazy, dude.
That's amazing.
No, this dude goes, and then I started looking into who he was, and this guy goes and does like fucking tons and tons of like surgeries on kids down in South America, and he's just one of them dudes, man.
Who saves your mom on the house?
What?
What?
That guy.
Saved your mom on the house.
That guy. God bless him.
God bless him.
God bless him.
Yeah, man. It's there's nice people out there. There really are. We're fed this false narrative that everybody sucks because so many people do suck. But there's so many people. It's just a perspective issue. It's the same reason why people think the world is flat. They don't understand perspective. The perspective when you're talking about human beings and 7 billion people, we're just overflowing with people. There's so many of us. There's so many stories of people sucking. But it's all a perspective issue because there's so many goddamn people. And most of them are cool, and most of them want to be cool. And they would be more cool if they knew you were going to be cool. If we all agree to be cool, we can be cool. We can have a better time here. We're wasting time with nonsense and arguments that all and conflict that all could have been disrupted from the very beginning by everybody being nice.
This is why we need cool. The alien invasion.
alien daddy,
because a lot of
space
people
daddy.
are invested in a lot of shit that's meaningless.
Yeah.
You know, we won't even go into it. We can all infer what those things are between us, and the audience can do the same. But what I'm saying is, like, there's just too much fucking bullshit about dumb shit that we need some kind of outside fucking focus.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Something that will take us from outside ourselves and make us focus on something else.
Or legalize mushrooms.
Which might be global warming, but that's not real, right?
No, legalize mushrooms, move to Greenland. Trump's on it. He's already trying to buy Greenland. You see he's trying to buy Greenland? He canceled his fucking trip to Denmark because they said they're not going to sell him Greenland. He's talking shit. No, he knows what he's doing. Listen, Trump's going to get us Greenland. When you and I,
the fucking thing is like,
gonna come
and then
hunting
I believe he said,
Greenland.
it's like fucking, oh man, I can't. It's bizarro world. That's all.
I think people go to Greenland to bow hunt. I think they bow hunt that gigantic fucking furry thing. What is that thing called? The muskox. Google Greenland muskox. You ever see a muskox? You want to see?
No, but I want to see one, and I also want to know when I'm getting invited for an elk barbecue, dude. Come on, dude. That's, you know what I mean? I'm
gonna put a kitchen in here in this place. I have plans. I'll tell you.
I'll come play it.
Please. Hold, please. We'll do this. Let me show you a muskox.
100% success rate on bow hunting in Greenland on a muskox.
Because you just walk right up to them. Oh, you know what it is? Because they have an instinct to protect themselves against wolves, so they all huddle together when threatened.
So you could just catch them all in a group.
And bow hunt them. Yeah, but look what they look like, bro. They don't even look real. They look like something out of Star Wars. Those are kind of interesting, but look, go to the side, Jamie, some of those other images. When you see, yeah, they're like that. Perfect. You see that walking around, you'd be like, what the fuck is that, man?
It looks like a tauntaun.
That's insane. It looks like a lion fucked a elephant, fucked a mammoth. Like, what is that, a buffalo? What is that? The fuck is that thing? Those crazy-ass horns, wild mane.
Looks like a buffalo with a Tina Turner wig.
And, dude, it could be 150 million degrees below zero. Those things just chill. They're just out there eating frozen grass.
The horns come from, like, their cheekbones.
Dude, they're crazy looking. Barely looks like a real thing. Barely. They're beautiful. And apparently...
tastes good?
Apparently it's fucking fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome.
My friend Brendan Burns shot one in... I think he said he got his either in Antarctica. You can go to like really, really cold climates and get, I think it's like, is it northern Canada? There's somewhere in northern Canada where you hunt them where it's crazy. Like you just get on, you either get pulled by snowmobiles or you get pulled by dogs. And you go like way, way, way the fuck out. Where if you break down, if your snowmobile breaks down, or if your dogs all die, you are fucked. I mean, you are so fucked. Because there's nothing, man. There's nothing. There's the occasional polar bear and these fucking muskox. And they're up there. And they don't even look like real things. And you're stumbling across, like, imagine going through a whiteout snowstorm to stumble across this 2,000-pound, enormous, gigantic, hairy, prehistoric beast that you can just walk up to and shoot with a bow and arrow and eat. That's what's up there right now. Like they're like a remnant of the past, like to the saber-toothed tiger days.
If they fight with those things, that'd be crazy.
They use it to fuck up other males. That's what most of those animals. They're not fighting off predators with that shit.
Well, it's definitely related to breeding and all that shit for sure.
They think some of it is like in some animals, depending upon how much pressure they get from predators, like elk, keep their antlers very late. They keep their antlers like into March and April because a lot of them live around wolves. And the idea is that they need those antlers to protect themselves from wolves. So they hold on to them longer than deer do. Biology. It's real.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dude, we're so lucky. We're so lucky we're out here.
Out the food chain?
Oh, my God. Not only out the food chain, you and I can go right down the street and get a fat steak dinner, friend.
Is that on the agenda?
Down. I cannot this evening, but I would like to do it soon.
You know our spot.
Yeah.
I'm sparking this, man.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, we're dead.
You're living on the edge. Do you got the lighter?
Oh, I won't do it.
You don't use a lighter?
Yeah, I'm saying. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, okay.
Their
I thought
horns?
maybe you were one of those. I only use a mask.
And it will play into the next tune we're gonna do.
Yeah,
in
their
a minute.
horns.
They come off the top.
Yeah, they come off the top. Sorry,
Covered
I
up by
wasn't
that
even thinking that.
wig.
Oh, it's
Well,
like
that-
a helmety kind of thing. I see.
I think they fuck things up with that bony part in the front above their eyebrows. They keep those for life too. It's not like a deer. You know, a deer loses their antlers every year. These motherfuckers.
Looks like a fucked up hairdo.
It does. It does. They're so beautiful, though. They're so beautiful. Like that one right there, Jamie. Click above.
Like they mom
to
did
left
their
of
hair
that.
for church right
No,
there.
click
Like
above. Right there. Click on that. Make that larger. That's a beautiful creature. I mean, it's so amazing that nature can make fish. It can make an
it's a type
eagle,
of buffalo.
and it
yes?
can make that.
Like buffalo or
I don't know, man. What is it?
bison related.
Ox? It's an ox.
Well,
Musk ox.
aren't they all related? Bison and all that.
I wish I knew.
Go to kids facts.
Kids facts. What does it say? It's cattle. Often
Say.
compared to cattle.
It's like a cow with a big coat.
Yeah. Oh, it's a northern cow. It's an
Highland
herbivore.
cow. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Furry Highland cow.
Part of the Bovidae family. All the species in this family have two-toed hooves, four-chambered stomachs, and are herbivores. So it's like a kind of cow type thing. Fuck, it's
You
amazing.
think aliens mutate them?
Nope. That's what we're supposed to be right now. What we're supposed to be right now is some sort of stupid, fucking, hairy dumbass that's running around getting eaten by shit. But the aliens came down and said, listen, let's just plant some of our stuff in these monkeys and see what we can do.
I'm in, dude. When they coming back?
That's what happened, man.
That's what I'm saying. When they coming back?
Probably pretty soon.
Soon. It gotta
I feel
be,
like
dude.
it's been brought up more and more in the narrative, and every time we go to sleep, we wake up in a new universe. And I think along those lines that they're coming. They're on the way right now. We're just not quite ready yet. Everlast. Maybe you are. But some people are not. Some people, if the aliens were hovering over Universal Studios
Lose
right
their
now,
minds. Lose their minds.
moving down to 101 over the Hollywood Bowl.
Be amazing.
And those little fucking tiny
Whether it was the
big
end
heads
or the
come out.
beginning or whatever, it would be amazing.
It would be very interesting.
The whole thing would go down. You know what I mean? If it was the end of all, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, hey, bring it on, but I'm saying that if that's what it is. Or if it's the next stage of like enlightenment and fucking, all that goodness.
What do you think people
Cool.
would do if one of them like hovered over every major city? You know what I think?
What
After the
we're
first-
talking about is what would the majorly religious do? Because I think that would affect religious thought the most right off top. You know what I mean? Besides the fear of like, what are they here for?
Right.
The first thing was like, whoa, a whole bunch of ideology goes out the fucking window right now. You know what I mean? So that would cause a lot of panic and anxiety right there alone. You tell them your whatever story of whatever religion. I'm not going to
whatever.
even go
Fill in
there.
the blank.
We're like that. I like that thing. Let's blanket it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to upset a lot of folk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right away. Just like, oh my God, that's not what we thought existed. We're the center of everything.
You know what I think would happen? I think people would just start fucking.
Flat earthers go out the window right away. That just is over.
Maybe not. Maybe like the aliens travel here from another dimension.
Maybe.
They have a new explanation for it.
Maybe.
The thing about
Maybe.
like being a flat earther, or the thing about any kind of like thing that you could decide was already proven, is that it doesn't matter what the facts are anymore. What matters is what people agree to. That's what's interesting about it. Like you realize that there's like a certain number of people you need to have to start a community, and it doesn't have to make sense. You just have to have enough people that agree to it. If enough people agree to it, you can push some pretty preposterous ideas through, and a bunch of people hop on board, and they're happy to be on your group. That's the problem with groups. The problem with groups is people will just join groups.
Isn't that the big lie? The big lie theory. The big lie thing. The whole Mein Kampf.
Yep.
Big lie theory. I believe that's the original, like where I'm quoting that from. But
I mean, even what you think, if you think about a country, right? You think about a country, and you think about America, which we both love and live in.
yes, sir.
It's what is it? It's an idea, right? It's an idea. It's an idea that everybody who's in this thing is cool to each other. Everybody's in this thing is part of a team.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Bring us your broken mass and all that stuff from the Statue of Liberty.
Some more I've been thinking. I think about this thing.
4 huddled masses. Is that? Am I getting it? It's been a while.
I know.
Fuck it. I'm 50. You know what I mean?
Right, but I know what you're saying. It's like whatever we are, like we are what we agree we are. We are what we agree we are. Like we don't. Most of what we're in conflict about is fucking stupid. And as a country, like we're supposed to agree that we're all in this together. So if we're all in this together, it should be good for everybody. We could do that. We could do that better than we think we can.
Way better.
Way better. But
Absolutely.
the problem is the conflict. Some of it's unnecessary, man. Woo! That's a good sound effect for that moment. That was perfect. It's some of it is just unnecessary. And these moments, man. These moments when we have fun, moments when we get together, moments when we hug, moments when we have a drink together, moments when we listen to some music, moments when we're all leaving a concert together or a movie together, that we realize like we're all in this together. We're all right. It's just like we just got to navigate it better. That's all it is. We're crashing into each other.
Honestly, it goes moments we mourn together. I mean, I'm honestly, I hate to say this, but I see a lot of my older friends more at funerals lately than other events, but they turn into celebrations. If you know what I mean, because we all understand. Like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad I am seeing you right now. Let's fucking
yeah.
And whoever it was that we're celebrating definitely doesn't want that. They want this.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody. When I go party the fuck up.
Yes.
Party fuck up and say like that guy did all right.
Yeah.
He did all right.
He did.
He was a pretty good dad.
Bro, every UFC
made a few bucks. Made a few bucks. That's Dana, man. Dana just play that song no matter what. I mean, God love it. I got to get my 25 cents, man. I got to get my 25 cents every episode, dog. Man, come on. You begrudging me my 25 cents?
I love it. I was walking out of the octagon. I forget who I was interviewing.
My favorite is this. Every once in a while, like there's a few people who choose that song, like Cynthia Cavillo.
Well, let's shout out to the first, Marcus Davis.
Yeah, Marcus Davis. He did the first thing, and then he went into the jump around. But some people, every once in a while, I don't know, maybe if they picked a bad song or something, like out of nowhere, one time, like Lyoto Machida came out to jump around, and I'm like, I texted Dana, I was like, who the fuck picked that? He's like, I did. And he didn't go any further. And I was like, oh, he must have picked the song Dana hated or something.
Yeah. Well, some of these cats, they'll choose music, and Dana was like, nah.
And I think the go-to jam, if you fucking pick something he doesn't like, is Jump Around. Because I'll be like, that was random, man. I was like, how did that happen?
It's funny. It's funny when there's a song that plays all the time that connects you to one of your friends. It's like as I'm walking out of the octagon, it's like, it's like,
dude, there was a period of about 6 years where anywhere Dana was, he could be on the other side of the world. I'm sleeping, so I'd get a phone call, and it'd just be a phone in the air at a club. And I would be playing. I'd be like, dude, come on.
Well, you guys nailed that song so hard. There's like moments in space-time that get nailed. Just like you just hit something that resonates with people.
I steal Danny Boy's quote of it's the Louie of the 90s. It's Louie. It's just there. It's part of the, like, it's almost not mine anymore. It's like belongs to the universe. It's weird. Wow. Every ball game I go to, any event I go to, it gets played. And it's not even like a big deal it's like some places it's a big deal. Like you get these football games, college shit, like Wisconsin's and stuff where it's like part of a tradition. But I'm saying any event, an Angels game, a Dodgers game, a Yankees game, a Laker game, a football game, it pops up somewhere along the line.
Dude, you're right up there with Queen.
It's crazy. It's wild. I mean, as you're talking about like individual songs and their imprint on something, it's bananas. It's something to like. You can't almost invest your thought in it because it can get like, whoa. It's really kind of a part of pop culture. It's ingrained on it's an American phenomenon and worldwide. I mean, like. Worldwide. I mean, where can you go where they probably never heard Jump Around? It's weird. I mean, it's to think about it on that level is crazy.
Maybe like one of them places where Trump's trying to buy. Maybe up in Greenland.
No,
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
they heard it. They heard it.
Queen had "We Are the Champions," and it also had "We Will Rock You." Those are two of the greatest sports anthems of all time. Queen nailed two of them. Like, what other fucking band has two of them? "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions."
It's actually the same song too.
Is it the same song?
Isn't it? Yeah, they blend into each other.
Oh, but they're two different songs.
They kind of they're technically connected.
Like if you had to buy them on iTunes, you have to buy two songs.
I think is it a slash in there? Is it a "We Will Rock You"? "We Are the Champions"?
They come together
on the record. When the record came out, they went right back to back.
Yeah, it does.
But
There's no
was it 2 and
space.
3, or was it recognized as one individual song?
On the label, it was listed as two different titles.
Two different titles.
But
You're
when
not
was
mic'd up. People can't hear you, so I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
That's Melody. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry. DJ man.
So yeah, so that was actually one of the first albums I got when I was a kid. But on the actual label, which has like the titles of the songs, they were listed as two different titles. But on the actual vinyl, the surface of the record, it was one groove. So the songs just went right into each other. So
if you were in a diner and you put like those quarters in that thing and you played that, would
Right.
it give you one song or would it give you both?
no, it usually gives you both.
Question.
It gives you both.
Good question.
Remember, man, diner music?
Yeah.
I was listening to.
I feel like my memory.
Get that microphone on you.
I feel like my memory. I'll share with you. We share with you. I feel like my memory. I see like a "We Will Rock You" / "We Are the Champions" thing like going on, like in that kind of sense. Like I feel like you would have got both songs because they
I don't
stop.
remember.
There is no stop. There's not even a clean place to edit it, really.
Right.
If I'm right.
It's crazy that it's two songs. Do you remember those wheels of the diners in the East Coast that would roll?
Yeah. It's kind of
We're the champions.
a
We will rock you.
slash, yeah.
Oh, so it's two songs. But
it's two different
one.
songs.
It's
but
two songs, but it's one.
So I was just driving a
Oh, but on the 45, it only has "We Will Rock You" on one side. That's interesting. Interesting.
I was driving a U-Haul truck last weekend. I'm in the process of moving. So all we had was AM/FM radio. So I was listening to K-Earth 101, and "We Will Rock You" came on, and right away came "We Are the Champions."
Yeah,
Like
the
back to
radio
back.
moved.
It played it as one song.
They play it as one song.
Yeah.
Well, they go together, perfectly.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's almost, but it is clearly two different jams.
Yeah.
Right? It's great. That guy was
similar themes.
He was
though.
a goddamn wizard.
"We Will
He
Rock
really
You."
was
"We
a
Are the
wizard.
Champions."
That band, they were really sorcerers.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Freddie
man.
Mercury was wild.
He was
man.
amazing.
The dude was crazy.
He was
with
so
it.
unusual.
The vocal, like
he would
the,
strut on stage.
it's just a masterpiece of Bohemian Rhapsody alone. It's just crazy.
I know, right? Like when you think of like rock albums and you think of songs and you think of that one, you're like, what
Like
is that?
I write these little 3-chord songs with a nice story over it and shit. And this dude was doing like fucking 16-part harmonies of "Bismillah, no, we will not let you go." Like wrote like a rock opera like within 4 or 5 minutes. It's fucking
great.
bananas how genius that shit is.
And it's great to listen to. Like it's super entertaining. It's captivating. He was a
Yes,
goddamn hero.
Yeah,
For sure, right?
Freddie.
100%.
Yeah. This
I haven't seen the movie. I
haven't either.
haven't seen the movie though.
After they stopped having fucking Borat do it, I'm like, I'm out.
Because I like the show that guy's on, that Mr. Robot.
I'm sure I'd like him too, but it doesn't matter.
No,
once,
that-
once you tease me with Ali G, and then you pull him away.
I don't know. I mean, that's not why I didn't see it. I just haven't had the chance. But
I heard that Borat wanted to do a lot of like crazy drugs,
he wanted,
sex.
yeah, he probably wanted to do all the. He wanted to
chaos.
have dongs flapping around. You know what I mean? He wanted all that.
Yeah.
He wanted to go the other. He wanted to go the dark side of Freddie.
He wanted to be buck wild. I'm sure the guy who did it did a great job. The problem is whenever someone gets attached to the idea of someone else doing it, and then the new guy comes in, he's forever tainted.
But if you haven't, and you ever go on TV little show binges, that guy's show, Mr. Robot,
Is it really good?
it's pretty fucking good.
I've
It's
heard
pretty
it's really
fucking
funny.
good.
I've heard it's really funny.
It's fucking like bizarre, like futuristic hacker weirdness. It's pretty dope.
Dude, this is the best time ever if you want to just sit and watch TV. Like, is there a better time that's ever existed?
No, dude, smoke weed. It's legal.
You could just sit and
Watch 42 episodes of a show.
I don't encourage too much of this behavior, but occasionally I think it's important and probably even therapeutical. But if you could just sit down and watch something on TV, there's more shit to watch today than the human race has ever seen ever. That's a fact. They're making new TV shows every goddamn minute. They're happening right now. They're putting them out on Hulu. They're putting them out on Amazon. They're putting them out on Netflix.
They don't even
out on
stagger
HBO.
them.
No,
They drop an entire season.
Boom!
Like,
Deal
it's
with it,
out.
bitch.
Watch it.
Deal with it. Deal with it, bitch. You watch Stranger Things?
Yes.
I'm on episode 5. Don't tell me shit.
Of what, the most recent season?
Great, yes.
Yeah.
Hush, everybody.
It's good.
Hush.
It's good. It's good. I enjoyed. I can't tell you I enjoyed.
Don't get blasphemous.
No, I ain't gonna tell you anything
It's
else.
a little bit better than good.
I'll tell you a couple good ones I enjoy.
Okay.
You fuck with Ozark?
Oh, dude, I fuck with
Okay, there we
Ozark.
go. There's Ozark.
Oh man.
What
If
else?
I had to give up one, it wouldn't be Ozark.
They canceled it, but the seasons that exist are fucking hilarious. Have you watched this Santa Clarita Diet?
No.
It's with Drew Barrymore and
It's really good?
the guy from Timothy Oliphant from like Deadwood. That guy.
Really?
It's like I'm not even gonna say anything else, but y'all could come thank me later. Go check that shit out.
Okay.
It's like 2 seasons of it, and they canceled it for some reason. Hopefully, they'll bring it back if enough people like it. But I'm telling you, it's fucking hilarious. It's like if you like zombie kind of weirdness, but it ain't really scary. It's fucking hilarious, is what it is.
Okay.
It's craziness.
Beautiful. Have you ever watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I have not.
Gotta watch that.
I'll
dude.
check it out.
That is a goddamn hilarious show. That's a good show to sit down with your wife because
All right.
you'll laugh your ass
We're
off.
always
and
looking for
she'll love it. Listen, it's hilarious. It's about a lady who was in a cult and she got locked up in a basement for like 13 years and then she got out. She doesn't know what the fuck anything is, but she's hilariously optimistic. It's really
My
funny,
wife
man.
got me on this one. It's not that, but it's like this lady, like chick comic, and I don't know her name, and I don't know the name of the show right now, but it's fucking hilarious. And she's like a Larry David-esque chick. Like she's Larry David-esque, I should say. Like the show is like, she's always like the fucking mom who's like fucking doing some crazy shit. There's like an episode of like where there's a mom amongst the crew that's like done porno, and so
Right.
all the moms are talking about, but like the fucking show's hilarious.
What is this show?
Oh man, I can't remember.
Do you know what that is, Jamie?
I gotta think of the show.
Who's in it? What are the actresses?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I watch shit with my wife sometimes, and I'm just gonna get the name of it real
Are you
quick
talking
while we're
about The
here.
Handmaid's Tale?
No. No, it's definitely.
Is that what he's talking
it's
about?
definitely
Chelsea
not
Lately?
that.
What are you saying?
It's some like no apologies or something about apologies.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Fucking shit is hilarious, dude.
it?
That lady is fucking hilarious.
Who's
bro.
that?
I don't know her name. I'm sorry,
Andrea Savage.
but there you go.
She sounds savage.
She's fucking funny, dude. It is savage. The show's pretty sad, but it's like some dirty Larry David kind of vibes.
What kind of a burden do you have with a name like Savage? Like, you better produce. You can't run around and be lazy with a name
you
like
can't.
Savage.
You
What's your
can't.
name?
You gotta
Bob-
bring it.
Bob Savage. Bob Savage is sitting there smelling his own farts.
Hold on.
What?
I don't know.
Jamie's in a panic.
I Googled that. I just Googled that. Sorry, not sorry with Amanda Savage, and like nothing came up then. But
Oh.
I
That's
had
weird.
an article up that.
That's
just said that
definitely it because I've known my.
great name.
That's why I was saying apologies or something. Sorry, not sorry.
That's just the article I had.
There she goes.
That's her. Oh,
Sorry,
she's
not
fucking
sorry.
hilarious,
Amanda
man.
Savage on her unapologetic new comedy. Good for her.
I'm sorry. The show's called I'm Sorry. The
I'm
article
Sorry.
is titled Sorry, Not Sorry.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Oh, the show's
I knew it was
called
an
I'm Sorry?
apology or something like that.
God, we're stupid.
It's fucking hilarious.
We do the
We're
least
done.
research of any
I'm
show
just
too
ever
quick.
that has this kind of reach.
Well, you guys are winging it kind of in a lot of ways, dude. Like, I mean, it's kind of
Always.
beautiful. It's the beauty of the show, though, a little bit.
This thing is 100% winged. You want some of this?
I'm sitting on a little bit, but yeah.
Don't be scared, homie.com. Don't be scared, homie.com. Shout out to Nate Diaz, victorious.
Man,
Shout out to Anthony Pettis,
Yep.
a gladiator.
it was a good fight.
It was a great fight.
I totally agree with the outcome.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Nate won that fight for sure.
I
Nate's a
was
goddamn superstar.
complimented when I walked into Dana's green room and was told I smelled like I just came from Nate Diaz's camp.
You see the video of him in the open workout?
Yes, it was amazing. I love that, man.
Thank God for that
The
guy.
fucks given is like at an all-time low.
All-time low. Thank God for that guy. He's so important.
Just be you.
Yeah. Love that guy. That's what he's doing. I mean, he's fighting for the baddest motherfucker.
That was
in
at
the game
170,
belt.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, fuck cutting weight. He doesn't need to cut weight. But I love when he's talking about fighting for the baddest motherfucker in the game belt. How am I gonna
So that's the
defend this
belt he's referring
against?
to. Okay.
Yes.
Because
Well,
I was
he
like,
said-
this was for a belt? It
No,
was only
no,
3
no.
rounds. I was like, wait a minute. I'm so confused.
I was thinking about.
I was a little high and
explaining-
drunk myself.
No, I was thinking about trying to get him to explain that to people, but I was like, I'm gonna just let him go. I don't even want to get in the way of this.
I'm glad I know now what belt he's talking about.
Yeah, he's talked about it multiple times.
That's
since
a
then.
great fight he called out,
But he
though.
said that. He said, defend this belt. And I was like, oh, okay, he's talking about the baddest motherfucker in the game belt. And I thought he was going to say it. But I probably should have asked him what belt it was.
No, it's more beautiful like that. There's like this. No, it's perfect. It's like an Easter egg.
Dude, what a great name. The baddest motherfucker in the game belt. We should be so happy that guy's a real thing. We should be so happy.
And that fight, it would be amazing.
Yeah, man. That would be incredible. Masvidal's a straight-up murderer. He's a straight-up murderer, and so is Nate. That would be chaos. That would be chaos. If then those two guys want to do it, those are two, just wild dogs going at it. Those guys are both, like, to the core. They're fighters to the core. There's no quit in either one of those guys. That's a wild fight, man. Especially right now, like financially, that's an amazing fight right now. People would pay a lot of money to see that fight. Masvidal and Nate Diaz, those are two guys that are like the most exciting and most talked about guys in the sport right now. If those guys decided to fucking smash horns, woo! God.
It looked like they were more than willing.
Yeah, I hope they make that.
That would be an amazing fight.
Hope they make that happen. That'll be goddamn bananas. And maybe one of them will come out to jump around.
If they pick something shitty enough.
No, at their level, I think they get to pick their own music. As long as they don't have like.
Yeah, but we're talking about but Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
Like why? I want to know the story behind that. One day I'm gonna corner Dana when we're like, when he's not the fucking busiest dude on earth.
Yeah.
And be like, what the fuck?
What
dude?
happened there?
What song did he pick that you
Which
were
fight was
mad?
that? Which Lyoto fight was that?
I don't know, man. I'm sure somebody knows.
But I wonder if he won. Because that would be interesting to see.
I
If
think
fucked with his vibe.
I'm not sure. I think he did. Because I keep track of shit like that. Because it's fucking, I hate it almost when somebody, because one of my favorite guys, oh my God, the beard, super duper friends with Tate.
Keith Jardine?
Thank you.
Says Weidman.
The Dean of Mean.
Dean of Mean.
Keith Jardine.
Weidman.
He came out to my version of fucking Folsom Prison, and I was so jacked about it. And he lost that fight, and I felt like it made me feel horrible. Like, oh man, my song.
Oh, this is Chris Weidman when he fought Lyoto Machida. Oh, that's when it
this
was.
was the fight.
That's when Lyoto. See, you put the kibosh on Lyoto.
Oh, so he let's see.
Yeah.
See, look, man, I didn't ask for that. I didn't fucking ask for that, dude. I don't need that pressure.
That wasn't going to save him.
Don't pick my shit.
A song wasn't going to save him.
You know what I mean?
That's one of those weird ones. It's like, how bad is the song? That you won't let a person pick their own song?
That's what I want to know.
It's not that much time. It's only like the walk to the octagon is not a full song. It's not like 3 minutes. What
But
is
all
so
those Brazilian guys always come out to that. You know what I mean? Like fucking. They come out to the fucking wildest music. Some of those dudes.
Not
The axe murderer used to come out to some real questionable fucking like Dutch disco house.
He did. He came out to like raw techno.
You crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Dutch disco.
Swedish house mafia.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Crazy.
That's exactly what he's coming out to. That
Like overtly, like over the top too.
The number
Sandstorm.
one worst walkout song. It says.
I said that the number one worst work.
My favorite was when Randy Couture came out to Ted Nugent's Stranglehold. I was like, if there is ever a song that's like design like that seems like that's a fight playing song. Like you're about to have a fight. That's the song you want playing. Stranglehold. Michael Chiesa uses that too. A couple guys use Stranglehold now. That's a song like Stranglehold. And it's one of those songs.
Anything by AC/DC.
Oh yeah. Thunderstruck.
Come out to a fight. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that Angus's tone on the guitar. It's over.
Yeah.
You got anger.
Yeah. right?
Got some nice.
I'm on the highway to hell. Rich Franklin used to come out to Thunderstruck when he was the middleweight champion. Thunderstruck. Is that the song he came out to? I know he definitely came out to an AC/DC song. Now
I think it is. It feels like right.
Questioning.
That was big, like right then too.
Yeah. AC/DC is like one of those bands where you hear like 3 or 4 chords. You're like, AC/DC. Like instantly. Like for sure.
Angus Young, again, his guitar tone. And just.
The song was called For Those About to Rock.
Oh, he came out
That's
to
what
For
he came
Those
out to?
About to Rock.
But didn't he come out to Thunderstruck too? I think when he fought Anderson Silva, he came out to Thunderstruck.
UFC 126, he did For Those About.
Which fight was that? Who was he fighting? I think for sure he came out to Thunderstruck. At least
Google
once.
is your friend.
But he was a
Forrest
AC/DC
Griffin.
dude. Oh, when he fought Forrest Griffin, he was an AC/DC dude. You think about walkout music is big,
was it?
man. You
Was
can't
it-
deny someone their walkout music.
Was it Chuck Liddell he beat with a broken arm? Like Chuck
Yes.
kicked him in the arm,
Yep.
and broke it. I think I feel like I was there, but I might not. I might have just
100%.
been seeing it on
And
the
then
TV.
he caught
Depends
Chuck,
on where it was. I don't know.
KO'd him. Chuck broke his arm in the first round, and then he clipped him with a punch with his other hand.
Like when
He even
everybody-
punched him with his broken arm.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Same song at a UFC 72.
Oh, okay.
So-
Maybe that was his song. For Those About to Rock? Great song either way.
Like when everybody hit me, I apparently when Stipe knocked out DC, like there's an angle where I was like, you saw me, and then like recently I saw. Did you ever see the meme with Khabib where he's like staring at Conor like after knocking out fucking I think it's Jose, and like it's me, like I'm like talking to like fucking Khabib, but he's just staring like this.
Oh, that's
And, like there's a meme that just like focuses in on him, like it's fucking crazy. So I like it's got me thinking, like I wonder how. Like I said, I've been to so many of these fucking fights that I don't even, I was like trying to remember, and it's like I can't even remember.
Yeah, you've been coming to him
I mean,
for almost as long as I've been working for the UFC.
yeah,
Or close
basically,
to it. Yeah.
you
Yeah, close to it.
not as, but close
In the neighborhood.
You know what I mean? A couple years behind,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like
You were the first guy I ever smoked pot indoors with in Vegas. I was like, we can just smoke pot here? I was like a little kid.
I think what I say, what are
I
they
go,
going
where
to
do you
do?
want to smoke? I go,
What are
where
they
do you
gonna
want to
do?
go? And he's like, go. And he just sparked the
Hey,
joint.
what are you
We're in
gonna
the
do?
middle of the club, and I was
What are
like,
you gonna
okay. All right.
Yeah, right there,
you
dude.
go.
But like somebody had made a meme that said something about Khabib and his concentration, and it like started focusing in on him like this.
James,
it was
zoom in
hilarious.
on that. Make that bigger. Does it make it bigger? Is it possible to make it bigger?
Let me tell you something.
Listen, look at Khabib's face. Is there a harder man that's ever lived? Look at that
Let
face.
me tell you though, he came out like 2 fights before that fight, and he was the nicest guy to everybody that came up to him.
Oh, he's
Like,
nice.
Everybody came up to him, he engaged with him, talked to him. Soon as the Conor fight was about to happen, that was
Yeah.
it. For the whole, he just was watching Conor the whole time, and like we were talking, like he, like in the whole time, like I said, we were engaging. What I'm saying to him right there is like, oh shit, y'all probably fighting next, kind of thing, because he was like, I want to fucking fight that guy, and they got into it backstage at that shit.
Wow.
But it just made me laugh, and it made me start thinking, like, I wonder how much shit I'm like in the background of. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, a ton of them. One of the best ones ever was Ari and Duncan kissing. Remember when they planned it? They planned it, and so these guys, the camera passed in front of them, and they grabbed each other and started making out, just so they could be on camera. Watch this. Watch this. Right here, the camera pans to them.
oh shit!
Oh my god. And Dana texts me afterwards. Did your friends fucking make out on pay-per-view?
Oh man! Oh shit!
What's up? What's up, Jimmy?
I thought I was with them at that fight. And
Were you?
They might have been on a substance, psychedelic.
Oh, they
Some
probably
kind,
were.
maybe.
Yeah, they probably were. That was common practice. Common practice in the day. Want to bang one more out?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
you
do smoking and drinking. That seems appropriate.
Yes.
Let me check. All right. DJ Melody, and let's one more give it a little shout out. Him and the Beat Junkies have a school in Glendale, California. It's called Beat Junkies Institute of Sound. They teach kids, youngsters, and grown-ups how to DJ like properly, like real DJs.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beat Junkies.
That's real. By the way, this is real. He's got people just listening. These are actual turntables. This isn't some bullshit. This is like. Can you back me up on this? This is real shit. This is Russell Peters approved, right?
Sure.
This is a real DJ.
I'm on my bullshit bar stool, pimping on Southern Fried Chicken, on whiskey soaked August day. And she told me last summer that she lost her only lover cause he got himself locked away. He was cooking meth, tripping, she was on post stripping, just American as apple pie. Now she's looking for a lover cause she won't be a mother, trying to show me that she's ride or die. She looks a little bit weathered, but she's down for whatever, and she probably knows a trick or two. Says she got a few friends, if you got a couple and boy, they probably let you fuck them too. All of my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, drinking with some trouble till start to see double and put me in a city jail. Sometimes you make problems and the only way to solve them is always walk around with bail. Now I lost a few nights and I lost a couple fights, blacked out on a whiskey bitch. I sold a whole lot of ticks, fucked a bunch of hot chicks, and a couple that'll make you cringe. I got to keep it 100, I say it was done it. Don't give a fuck about how you feel. Oh, you cheaters and liars, we cheap and the fire's off by how you keeping it real. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, low temp dabbing, pistol grip grabbing. I'm a chrome-plated man of steel, severely underrated. Occasionally I'm hated cause I like to tell it how I feel. The push gonna shove, got a whole lot of love for the people that been holding me down. I made a whole lot of friends and I kept a few ends. Whole time I've been fucking around. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit.
That's a great fucking song, man.
Thank you, sir. Whitey Ford sings. Whitey Ford's House of Pain is the latest album. Let me do all the things my manager will slap me later for if I don't. OG Everlast. You can find me on Instagram. That's the only one I really do, but I'm on the Facebook and all that with all the tours and all that. But if you want to see what I talk about or what I do, it's OG Everlast on Instagram. I got Joe started on Instagram, by the way.
That's 100% true.
And he's kicking my ass all over there. He's got like 18 million followers. I got like 98,000.
I don't have that many. We'll get you more today. But yeah,
I always do. No, always. That's another. Your people always come and are always beautiful folks.
I listen to you. The reason why I'm on Instagram is 100% because of you.
But the folks that always come after a podcast are always like fine folks and are enthusiastic.
That's awesome to hear. I think we tapped into a river of cool people. I think they're out there. I think you put it out there and people respond in turn, and they realize that a lot of the shittiest behavior that we all exhibit is because we're around shitty behavior. If we make an agreement to be nice to each other, we can change everything.
I'm working on it.
We are.
I'm a dick.
All of us are. You're not a dick, man. You ain't a dick. You're a man, and you're Irish.
I'm a dick. Yeah,
You're a guy, man.
I'm looking for a quick excuse to be one if you want to be an ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe, but in all the years that I've known you, you're a very introspective guy, man. You look at yourself, When people make mistakes, they look at themselves. Like you're a guy who looks at everything, man. You look at yourself, you look at other people. You're an
it's
honest
nice
dude.
to be afforded the time and luxuries to do such things too. Let's acknowledge that some people, hey man, motherfuckers, some people can barely look up from the grind, man, and it's a blessing to be able to like have those moments of like, hey, whatever it is, Joe Rogan in the fucking brush, stalking an elk. That's where he gets his moment, or or whatever. Me, driving fucking Pacific Coast Highway, listening to a beat, trying to fucking come with an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well said.
That's a luxury.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Even though it's our work, you might be thinking of a joke out there while you're fucking, you know what I mean?
No, we're lucky, super lucky, for sure. And well said. That's so important to acknowledge, for everybody. And we didn't used to be, and that's the grind, and we're all okay. We're all okay. We just got to figure our way through our own individual maze. The problem is in comparison, right? That's a big part of the problem.
I'm totally paraphrasing, but there's like definitely a famous phrase where it's like comparison is the death of joy, and I think we've even talked about it on. I'm having deja vu, so it might have been on here that we talked about that.
I'm a repetitive fuck,
yeah,
and I say a lot of the same shit over and over again. That's a Thomas Jefferson quote, correct? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy. I think we have talked about it. I think because my deja vu is in high gear right now.
It's one of my favorite quotes because it just makes you realize, like, this is something you can't even control. Like, you're concentrating on shit you can't control.
I feel like it's like there's this, everybody's not entitled to the luxury that we're talking about. So it's like, you got to be thankful for it on an extra high level because it seems like we're in this twisted thought age where it's like everybody thinks they deserve that, and I don't even feel like I deserve it. I'm lucky. I'm a fortunate fucking man. You know what I mean? I sing songs. I always compare it to like this, like when you talk, when like people talking about new music, whatever. I'm like, whatever happens, if the lights go out and all the power goes out, I can go from fucking little fucking prefecture to prefecture and play a little song for you and get a meal for me and my family. Yeah. That's how I equate it. Like it's a trade. You know what I mean? And it's an imbalanced society I've met teachers that I feel like should be making way more fucking money than me, man, like on real levels that I've seen do things for kids on like my school has a mixture, like kids that go there because they live there, and then there's a lot of people trying to go to the school because it's a very nice school, but so there's imbalances, and I've seen teachers like come out their own pockets and do things for people that was like, wow, man, that's what I mean. I like to think I do nice things, and I think I do, but I'm saying it's like when I see it on a level where it's like grassroots, ground level, it's impactful to me.
Yeah, it's. When you think about teachers, that's the heartstring puller. Like how much teachers make. You hear about it.
They should be rock stars.
How do you're taking care of our babies. You're teaching our babies, and you hear about the bad ones. You hear about the mean teachers that fuck with a kid's head. Yeah, they don't realize it. They don't realize what they're doing to the kid. Like, some people are just angry. They're just angry and mean, and it comes out when they're teaching. And if your teacher gets stuck, or your kid rather, if your kid gets stuck with one of those teachers, like that can have a devastating impact on the kid's life. You know, it sucks.
We're experiencing like something like that, but not on on a very minor level of like, you know, like the way the school, we just found out like yesterday, like what teachers our kids have, you know what I mean? It's like there's the whole like cultural parent circle of knowing which teachers you want and which ones you don't, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not gonna go into whether we got what we wanted or not, but it's like the fucking drama behind it is it's hilarity to me. It's like it's such a like, whoa, like, yeah, is there abuse going on or what? You know, one teacher's a little more strict than the others. In my day, my parents would have said like, that's the teacher we want. Nowadays, it's almost like the opposite. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now in the old days, my mom would have been like, that's the stricter teacher. Yeah, put him in that class. Put him in that class. Because that's the one that's not going to take any shit. And that's the one that's going to get, you know, make sure he knows people aren't going to take shit from him in life. You know what I mean? And that's, I understand that mentality. Yeah. Nowadays, it's almost the flip. Like, oh, that teacher's like, she just is so you know, abrasive.
Too demanding.
Like, it's like, well, what does she do? Well, she raised her voice to a kid that was, what was the kid doing? He was fucking losing his mind in class. So the fucking teacher raised their voice or something, you know? I'm just giving general example here, but
when I was
it's
in
hilarious.
Florida, we got paddled. We got paddled at school. I got in a fight with a kid named Preston Banks. We duked it out. When we were like,
you got paddled.
I was like, fuck. I lived there from 11 to 13, so somewhere in that range. They fucking whacked me in the ass.
Where was this?
Paddle. Florida. Yeah. Yeah, Florida, they used to be allowed to paddle you. This dude had a paddle, like an actual wooden paddle. And me and this kid got, and this I remember thinking, even though I was probably like 11 or 12 or whatever I was, when I got in a fight with this kid, I realized this kid had been like badly burned when he was young. And we were in school together, and he was like missing part of his ear. And his neck was all fucked up, and I was thinking like, oh, this guy, like, he's not doing so well. Like, it made me realize, like, we got into this little scrap over nothing because he wasn't doing so well. And I didn't realize that until I was in the principal's office with him and the fight. Like, we couldn't fight in front of the principal. That was the authority figure. We were both, like, subdued. But I was realizing when I was around this guy, I'm like, this isn't a mean guy. He's a sad guy. Like, he's a guy that just didn't get any love, and he feels like he got ripped off by life because he got burned when he was a little kid.
For sure.
And it made me think. Like, it changed the way I looked at people. Like, that one little argument and fight with one kid, and then getting paddled. Yeah. Getting paddled just cemented it. Like, ow!
Put the stamp on it.
I don't agree with it. You know, and the guy didn't hurt me. He didn't try to hurt me. He didn't try to hurt the other dude either. But he definitely paddled us. It used to be a legal thing.
Put a sting on it, man. You know what I mean? That's what we grew up with. I got spanked.
But is that good?
I think there's appropriate time and place. I really do.
For girls?
I don't know about that. That's different because I have 2 girls, and I've never spanked my kids.
I don't think I'd spank
I've threatened to.
I don't think I'd spank
I've threatened to, but I've never had to actually commit and do it. So I don't know. Yeah, no, it seems like it might not be the right. And even with a boy, I'm talking about that physical justice for me would be a rare thing. Let me give you an example of when, like a time in my life when I definitely deserved physical justice and got it. My father, I was using guns when I was very young. We'd go out and shoot and like not hunt necessarily, but he'd take us out and shoot in the mountains out in the Angeles forest back in the day. And like fucking, I had very good gun education and understanding of guns. And one time when they were away, I fucked around with his like pump shotgun and fucking accidentally fucking loaded it and fucking bang, it shot into the wall. All right. This was an apartment too. This wasn't a house. This was in an apartment building. Now it wasn't a wall connecting to another apartment, but
still,
but the possibilities that, you know what I mean? When they came home, a few hours later, that apartment outside was surrounded by police, like with guns. Like they didn't know what happened. The neighbors all called cops. They heard a shotgun, but so after they all settled it down, and I got my ass fucking kicked that night by my father. Sure. You know what I mean? And some people nowadays would say that's fucking rough. But no, I fucking could have fucking killed a human being easily. You need to sometimes know, like, okay, this is because what you just did could have wound you up in fucking the penitentiary for the rest of your life. So an ass kicking doesn't seem as extreme as you think when you put it in the balance of that. So when you're getting to like a level of that, I think, especially for a boy, you know what I mean? I don't know if a girl was going that wild, I mean, I would encourage the mom to throw the beating. I mean, a dad can't throw that beating, you know what I mean? It'd be a little rough. But I think there's a time and a place where, like, hey, so if you're going to stop, you got to let them know, this will be the rest of your life.
Yeah.
If you keep down this path. It's got to be that extreme to me for it to be a beating nowadays. When I was young, a beating could come from talking back.
Right. At least a smack in the face.
Yeah, well, that's, a shoe.
Just a little.
If it was mom, after like 13, mom stopped using the hands because it didn't. I had outgrown her. My mom was little. My mom was little. My mom was a little woman, like 4'11", 5 foot tops.
So just throwing shit.
Oh yeah. So after a while, it was like it went from the hands to like stirring spoons and shit. And then once those started breaking, it became shoes and like whatever else, broomstick. And then it became like, wait till your fucking father gets home.
My mom might have like gently smacked me upside the head, gently, like never like a real like wound.
No, my mom was a Brooklyn lady,
no,
man.
My mom was like, she might have been like, "What are you doing, stupid?" I never got clipped. I never got dropped.
Mom's tried to.
You never dropped me, Ma.
I remember being like 9 or 10, and mom's chasing me down the block, catching me, and fucking tackling me, dude. like dead ass.
You get beat up in front of your friends.
Oh yeah.
It's the worst. It has to be the worst.
It happened.
My mom was not chasing me. She'd be like, "You're coming home eventually, dummy."
My mom wasn't. I mean, she wasn't having that. No, a word.
Oh yeah. My mom would have never chased me. She would be like, "I'm not playing your games."
She was little, but she was fast. She was
crazy
fast.
that she caught you. Beat your ass in front of your friends. It's so rough.
Yeah.
When you're a young boy and you're trying to be cool, it's like the most embarrassing. Like any day, you could just trip on your own dick and fall face into a fence. Like a fucking asshole. You're just so goofy.
I think it actually made some of my friends at the time understand me a little bit differently, dude. Like, oh, wow, dude, all right. Like,
yeah, for sure.
We get you now. We understand kind of your whole thing. Like, your steez, like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, for sure. But aren't you like, when you think of yourself as like a musician and an artist, like, you're so fortunate. This is going to sound weird, but you're so fortunate to come from a chaotic upbringing. I feel like everyone who I know that comes from some sort of a chaotic upbringing has like a different kind of like horsepower to their shit. Like all my favorite people that I like to listen to and watch, they all had some like real fucked up moments and struggles and chaos and madness. You don't get what you put out without that. That's like the root of it all. That's the seed that causes it all to grow.
I mean, it's similar to a song. You're trying to find. It depends on what angle you take from it. I like to call it the highest common denominator, like that I'm trying to find is like the highest level thing we can all connect on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not the basest, most lowest level or common denominator. I'm trying to find what kind of elevated level can I speak to you on, even if it's about fuckery. Can I raise the level of speaking about it and just telling a tale about it without it, being, again, the most base and easiest, lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I think with a joke. You're trying to find, there's no real new, like, you're just finding new angles on funny shit. You know what I mean?
The only time that things are new is when things are newly invented or when they're new events. Like, it has to be like a significant event or a new invention. Then things open up new pathways. Other than that, like if you're talking about relationships, you're doing a variation of a take on it that everybody's had who's had a long life and been in relationships. Especially Larry King, holla at your boy, going on number 8. Was that number 7? They just left?
8th divorce, 7th wife. I think he remarried one of them.
Damn. Like that. You know?
Larry King's still alive?
You didn't know? Oh, Roy Wood.
Yeah.
Roy and I were looking at pictures of Larry King.
I really didn't.
His wife.
I'm impressed that he's still alive.
He's getting divorced at 85. Holla
Fucking
at you.
more power to him.
Yeah,
Get busy.
that's
If you got the money to get divorced at 85, go for it.
They're shooting him up with steroids and cocaine, and they're just going to start
And Viagra.
just having gals come over to the place.
He's over at Art's Deli,
Start
just
dancing.
holding court.
Can you imagine if over the last year of his life, he just banks an unprecedented volume of internet porn and just releases it all in one blast? Larry King fucks. He just calls it
King
.com.
sex tapes?
yes, King sex tapes. Yeah, King. Yeah, just banging it out and just That's how he's gonna go out.
Get a lot of Patreon for that.
You can get so much money if you really just want money. Now's the time to act.
That's wild.
Poor Larry. He doesn't seem like he has good posture. Like, that's not good. When you're an older fella and you like,
Does he
that
have the
good
curve?
posture- yeah, he's got that curve.
The curve.
He was a
Yeah.
very nice guy. I was on his show twice. I was on his show twice for Fear Factor. So he was very nice. Very friendly guy, you know.
You kind of got to be when you do that for a living, and every night
Yeah.
you're talking to a person.
You got to be good at that shit.
You can't be like me. I'd be like, fuck.
Didn't he go to jail? Isn't there a Larry King? We need to get a Larry King mugshot. Yeah, get that Larry King mugshot. Order that shit up. Go to take the
You need to
find the photo of Larry King mugshot. How do we not have Larry King? We just decided to get Pablo
Hey,
Escobar.
dude, you need to get the
Order a big
mugshot of the
Since
dude who's still on
1971.
CNN who got found out like in Central Park in New York, like with meth and like a like makeshift noose around his dick.
Who's that?
His name was what the fuck? What's his name?
How do we not
The
have
English
that?
dude with the glasses.
English dude with the glasses.
CNN.
CNN?
Richard.
Richard.
Come on, dude, you're helping. Come on, help
Hold
me.
on.
Come on, dude.
He's ordering up a large
Richard.
print of
Richard.
Larry King's headshot.
Richard. Oh man, you know his face. As soon as you see his face, you can be like, "Oh, that guy,
Richard Quest.
Richard
Who's
Quest.
Richard Quest?
He's the guy I'm talking about."
I don't know who he is.
Oh, dude, if you see his face, you'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's like." He's like the English guy on
And what did he
CNN.
do? Can I
He
see
got
him,
caught
Jamie?
in like Central Park with like meth and like fucking some sort of noose or something around his dick. As far as I remember reading, we were
you're
clowning it for a while.
If you're a single gay guy, isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I don't know.
You're supposed to have meth.
I don't know.
noose around your dick. That's like
Oh
part of the
no!
thing. That's
Is this not on the internet? Am I making this up?
No, there's no. I was looking for a mugshot. There's no mugshot, but here's an explanation from
what
Huffington
happened.
Post.
Oh, there's an explanation.
Okay, there's an explanation. No, but,
busted in Central Park
I'm not like making this up, right? I'm not. This wasn't like a drug-induced like hallucination or something,
Oh
right?
my God! How hilarious is the way they put this? CNN personality Richard Quest was busted in Central Park early yesterday with some drugs in his pocket and a rope around his neck
Oh,
that
around
was
his-
tied to his genitals. No big deal. And a sex toy in his boot. Law enforcement officials said, sources said, Quest was initially busted for loitering.
So it really wasn't about that.
Aside from the oddly configured rope, the search also turned up a sex toy inside of his boot. That means his asshole. And a small bag of methamphetamine in his left jacket pocket. It wasn't immediately clear what the rope was for.
That's the mugshot you need. But show him a picture so he'll know who I'm talking
Jamie,
about.
please
Richard Quest.
that. I'm going to talk about that on stage from now on.
Send me that guy, dude. You don't know that guy? He's all over the fucking CNN.
I do not know that guy.
Oh,
Can you send
dude.
me that article that we just sent into my Evernote?
Oh, I hope it provides you something beautiful.
There's something there.
There's something
there.
Yeah, I hope
Something
it
there.
provides you
This is the
something
best part about the
beautiful.
article. It was not clear. It was not immediately clear what the
What the
rope,
rope was
for.
for.
And I'm like, let me help. Let me help you out. Was it tied around his neck and his dick? Well,
His
I'm
dick.
no fucking Columbo.
I knew there
but
was a
I
news
see a connection. The pocket note is Mr. Quest at 64th Street and West Drive at about 3. Oh, the police noticed Mr. Quest at 64th Street and West Drive at about 3:40 a.m. The official said, as he was being escorted out, he volunteered, in quotes, "I have meth in my pocket." According to an official briefed on the case. The police searched him and recovered a small amount of methamphetamine in a Ziploc bag and a rope around his dick and his neck.
And a sex toy in his boot.
More importantly, there's a lot of dudes who do meth. And you know what they do? They keep it together, and they stay on the farm.
I wonder what kind of boots he had on.
There's a snake in my boot.
No, in his boot. That means in his asshole. Is this an English paper?
No,
this is New York. It was Central Park.
I think they mean in his asshole. I don't think.
I think they mean his boot.
I think they mean in his asshole.
In his ass?
That's
wow, that's a whole new dimension.
That's your trunk, bro.
They wouldn't call
you know
it
what English.
No, in England, but it's like this is New York Times.
Yes, they're using proper British English.
They don't. That's America.
It's New York Times.
We call boots a boot in America.
Let's go with the better angle on it. This day was in his ass.
Yeah, I mean that's funny.
That's the better.
New York Post, not the New York Times.
Yeah.
It was in his asshole. That's why they said his boot.
His boot.
His boot it's proper British for like if you watch like
that is factual.
Gear,
that is factual.
Jeremy Clarkson and fucking Richard Hammonds and James May, they refer to the trunk as the boot.
Yeah, it's the boot.
Yes, it's in his asshole. Right?
Wow.
The guy had a sex toy in his asshole. Hey, no judgment.
Brought a whole new fucking dimension to that.
No judgment.
Wow.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yes, sir.
Even if he didn't get caught with that in his asshole, he's still doing meth and talking to cops. Like what?
With a rope around his dick and neck.
Yeah, that part too. I was going to get to that. As if it was so crazy if he had a fucking rubber dick in his ass. Like, wait, what?
I'm finding that shit. I'll get you that mug shot. I'm finding it.
Meth. Who doesn't like a little meth every now and then? Rope around his dick and balls, whatever.
You got dismissed. Yeah. All charges were dismissed.
Thank God for America.
White privilege. Oh shit!
Imagine if you're a dude as black as Wesley Snipes with dreadlocks. They catch you with a rope around your dick and neck with a bag of meth in your pocket, bro. You're gonna die in jail.
Okay, yeah.
You're gonna die in that jail.
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
I think so.
100.
Dismissed? You had meth and a rope
around your
connecting your neck and cock,
and probably a sex toy in your ass.
Yeah, the UK version says it was in his shoe.
At the very least, in his, I was gonna say in his shoe, which is weird enough. It might even be weirder.
But let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah, this
that
one
might
also
just
says
be a confusing interpretation of the American version of boot, and them saying
maybe they think shoe means ass.
It was with another man.
Oh, maybe he
boot. Nobody's got a fucking rubber dick in their boot. That's outrageous. That would make your boot all fucking uncomfortable. Why wouldn't you just put it in your pocket? It's in his ass, bro. Let's just run with that.
Because he had meth in his pocket. That's why.
No more Google search. Shut off all the computers. Spread misinformation. Look, I'm sure it was just in his shoe. Whatever.
And you don't ever volunteer that you have drugs. Let them find the drugs.
Yeah, let them find the drugs. Unless you want to fuck the cop.
I have a quick good one on that level. On that level.
Shit on.
First time I went to Japan with House of Pain.
What happened?
We were on, it was one of them things where we were touring from tour to tour. I would go home and literally take one set of clothes out of a bag, throw it in another bag, and leave. So we got to Japan. And on this particular trip, I brought my girlfriend at the time, and I think Danny did, and Lethal brought his own homie or whatever. But we brought a bunch of guests, and everybody gets through customs. And as I'm getting through customs, the guy reaches into this one jacket I have, and he pulls his hand out, and there's this little nugget of bud. And he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Well, can you speak English?" Because he said it in Japanese. So I said, okay, what is that? I was like, my brain just was like, well, fuck, man. It looks like weed. I said, it looks like weed. I just fucking owned it. Whatever. Right. They went and got this little tester, put some shit in it, said if it turns blue, it's weed. I was like, it's weed. Let's just fucking save a little trouble. It's weed. Meanwhile, everybody else had gotten through. They brought everybody else back in, right? Fucking gave them the fucking finger. Like my lady, everything at the time. Everybody got the strip search. They never strip searched me. They searched everything I had, all my bags, everything, right? They tested one nug of weed, whatever. I end up after several hours, the record label paid off whatever they had to pay off. We got into the country and were able to do our tour. Now, the point of the story is everybody's fucking hating my guts. The whole fucking bunch of them. We get to the hotel. I'm unpacking my bag, trying to figure out how the whole fucking thing happened. I'm looking at the jacket, and I reach into the pocket. There's nothing in there. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. I reach into the other pocket of the jacket. I pull out a fucking ounce of fucking weed. They never looked in the other pocket of the jacket. A fucking ounce of weed. I shit you not.
So you know what you were without even knowing you were doing it? You were like sending a small mule to get busted so that the big ones can sneak around the side.
I must have been rolling a joint at the last tour and like had a nug left over and just thrown it in the pocket, not thinking about it on one side.
The cartel does that.
But if they would have found that other one first, I'd be in jail in motherfucking in Japan for a long time.
Forever and ever.
But I got in, I called everybody that smoked in the crew down to the room after that. And I was like, yo, check it out, man. I really didn't mean this to happen, but I probably had more good ass fucking weed in Japan than anybody at the time.
You know what's incredible?
Because all they had was hash and shit like that.
Stop and think of that moment. That moment, if they didn't go in that one pocket and they went in the other pocket first and they found that giant bag of weed, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nope.
We probably wouldn't.
Nope.
I don't think so. That's a lot of weed. Who knows, though?
In Japan, it would have been. Took a lot of money to get me out of that, regardless.
Yeah,
a lot. Instead of, I think it cost them like $1,000, and they're like, which was like 10,000 or something yen, or 100,000.
Pre or post? Put your lights on.
No, this was House Pain days. This was like when the only story like it was like Paul McCartney is banned for life because he got caught with some weed. That was
for life.
That I don't know if it still exists, but there was a point where he was banned for life because he got caught with weed over there.
Wow. Well, it used to be in Nevada, you get sent to jail for life if you had weed, and now it's legal there.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of dudes like looking out those barred windows.
That's just something's got to be done about that. That ain't working.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the number one problem. It's the number one problem with laws against things like weed. Like, as long as you can buy some whiskey.
It's part of the number one problem. A lot of it, too, is a lot of these prisons are privatized, and they don't want to let a lot of these guys go, man. A lot of these guys get money for the amount of fucking people in their prisons.
I got a solution. Those private prison dudes should start selling weed. Right? That's
Why not?
A cleaner way to live your life, man. Don't be a goddamn slave owner. You guys are slave owners.
There's this whole like urban legend that is very believable about this letter that went around. Like a bunch of people in the hip hop music industry got I don't know, maybe it was within the last decade, where they described like this guy claimed to be a member of the elite class of like executives of the music business in the mid 90s and whatnot, and there was a time when the private prison industry kind of came and got involved and got a lot of these people to invest and then kind of help direct like things like rap music. And if you remember, there used to be like public, I don't know if how big of you a fan of music you were at the time, X-Clans and Public Enemies. There was all these proactive like, counters to like the party drug dealer guys or the whatever. There was actually another side to it that existed and was successful and flourished, amongst it, and that disappeared. And like this letter that went around was like kind of claiming this guy was part of this thing, and he left the meeting when these guys. It was like a whole conspiracy thing, but it's like totally believable that these guys would direct a music and a fucking media in a certain direction to encourage fucking basically a cycle of fucking prison for fuck. Because if you look at rap music, and what happened from the 90s till now, there is no conscious music anymore. There's none. It's some people will tell you it's fucking God's honest truth. Some will tell you it's the wildest speculation in the world. But you can dig it up easily.
Music? Kanye has some conscious music.
For sure. But like what? Like Jesus Walks? That was written by a guy named Rhyme Fest, I think is his name. I think is the guy from Chicago. One of his partners from Chicago wrote that song. You know what I mean? But you got to remember, these guys are like, Kanye's a producer. And I'm not saying he doesn't write, but what I'm saying is a lot of, he's also like, he will take a song and make the song because he's a producer.
Yeah, conscious.
A lot of people do. I'm not just saying Kanye is like a fraud or anything. I'm just saying like as a producer, like Drake doesn't write all his records. There's a different era of rap and shit like that going on from when I was young. When I was young, it was pretty much 90%. If you couldn't call yourself an MC or a rapper if you didn't write your own shit. There were cats that didn't do it. It's always been there. There's always been the ghostwriting scene. But if you wanted to walk in a room and hold down any kind of respect with people, they had to know you wrote your rhymes. You know what I mean?
That's the same in comedy.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, and it's not saying like, though, you're not a fraud. You're just a different kind of entertainer. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, I don't shit on it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of Drake records I like.
Exactly the same
There's
way.
a lot of other shit I like. You know what I mean? I know those guys didn't write those records because I can look at the writer's credit and see 20 writer's credits on it.
Yeah.
So, but I come from the era of like, you know, you got to write your shit.
Yeah, I think some people feel the value of collaboration, which is a legitimate thing. And if your ego is good enough where you can like work with, like Paul Mooney worked with Pryor. You know, Pryor is the greatest of all time, in my opinion. And he worked with Mooney. Mooney helped him a lot. You know, and Richard Jeni worked with Chris Rock and, you know, and others as well. You know, like this, it's not like some of the greatest of all time have had people that work with them.
But Paul Mooney is God. He's the greatest. He's up
one
there,
of my
man.
most important influencers.
For
like
sure.
When I was at the Comedy Store, because he was like the first guy that I felt like was a real. I was scared of him, man, because I knew he worked for Pryor. I knew he was like he's connected to royalty, and he'd be around the Comedy Store, and I'd just be.
It's still sharp as a knife, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still right there.
This is when I was in like my
it's good.
20s, and he laughed one time. I was on stage in front of like 10 people, and I was doing my act, and I heard him in the back of the room, ha 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 ha. And then he came up to me afterwards, and he said that you're a funny motherfucker. He goes, you did that shit like it was a sold out room. He goes, you're a real comic. And I was like, wow. Like Paul Mooney said that to me. Because I remember he was connected. He's connected to the man. He was connected to Pryor.
He's made.
Like all those, it's the contribution. Like it's, I mean, I guess it might be, maybe it's different in hip hop, but in stand up, it's similar. That there's guys like Bill Burr who writes everything he says. Everything he says is coming from a Bill Burr place of mind. He's not contributing with anybody. He's not, he's not collaborating. He's just being Bill Burr. You know, Joey Diaz, same thing. Like,
Absolutely.
like everything that guy says coming out of his head. There's something extra to that. You know, it's not better or worse. It's just like it's like difference between you go in a restaurant and everything's homemade. It might be the same as if everything wasn't homemade in terms of like the way it tastes, but not the way it feels. Right? It feels
Absolutely.
different. Like a guy like you writes your own shit. Like when you write your own shit and you play your own songs, it's like I'm getting a piece of you. I'm getting a little piece of you comes out of your art. And that's the difference. It's not like there's anything wrong with collaboration. Collaboration is, look, if you look at Chris Rock stuff, it's arguably some of the greatest work of all time in terms of like the finished product of stand-up comedy. Bigger and Blacker is one of the greatest comedy specials in the history of the world. Period. End of discussion. Anybody that argues with you is an asshole. So that came out of collaborative efforts. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it made something amazing. And many other bits. And many other things that a lot of great comics have done. But it is different, man. It's different, you know? But we're all like in some way connected to each other and collaborating with each other, whether we like it or not. It's just not like it's like how many stages into the game are they going to collaborate with you? Are they going to be there for the final product? Or are they just going to be influences all along the way in your artistic journey? Boy, that
Yeah, I
sounds
mean,
like a lot of words.
Even the thing that I would consider that I wrote completely by myself. If you get down to the next level, it's like there's 25,000 things that have influenced why I think that way or feel that way.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So
That's determinism.
that's why that's the whole angle of like there's really nothing new. It's all about the angle and I liken it to like when I watch I like watching the old Dogtown like documentaries, Dogtown and the Z Boys and shit, and it's like the whole approach to skating was like everybody can do that, but it's the style you do it in, you know what I mean? That's what it really starts coming down to. There's not again, if there's no brand new invention or brand new event,
right.
We're rehashing experiences that have been happening since the dawn of time, and
Especially
you're just finding a new style and a new angle to dress it up in that makes people feel like it's new.
Sure, sorrow, romance, love, anger, all those things. Yeah,
you're breaking the boredom of the way it's been thought of before in a new way, and that's what becomes appealing to people.
But goddamn, when someone hits it and they do get through with something that's a new way of describing some shit we can all relate to, it makes you feel so good. Like music makes you feel good in a way that comedy never can. Like comedy makes you laugh and it makes you have a good time together. We're all in a room laughing, hooting it up. But music, when you're by yourself, man, it's just be you and that music, and you get goosebumps. You can lift more weights. You run faster. Like, it fires you up, man. If I'm running hills and I'm listening to music, I honestly feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm cheating because I feel like I take this like burst of like artificial energy that's not dependent upon my discipline or drive.
It's not artificial though.
No, it's not. But it's not. I didn't make it.
Yeah, no. But again, see, I don't know if it's some grass is greener shit, and I don't even know if that's the proper phrase. But like, just when I look at as an art form, like that comparison when you're like, it's music is this. I'm like, comedy is so much more precious. Because you work it to that point. And even if you tell an amazing joke that lives in me and I fucking love it so much, I take it and tell it to him. For me, the minute I tell it to him, it ends. It's like that's the end of that joke for me. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a preciousness to that. It's like a fucking, to me, like there's a finite, you're creating an art that's like it's like almost like a dude who creates art just to fucking watch it. Like, yep. There I did it. Like some Japanese lantern that's going to just go up in flames and fucking disappear. Yeah. It's like there's a beauty in that to me is far different and far more, again, precious because its life is shorter. You have to watch it end. That's my point. Is like you have to watch an idea of yours come to a finite end. Right. Whereas like when an idea of mine comes to a finite end and it's good and it connects, I can repeat it over and over and over and people accept that. Yeah. You know. So it's not it's just but to me it's just the preciousness of it. If you understand what I'm getting at, is like, wow, that was all that work for that. It's like it's almost like the Olympic athlete training his whole life. Like that's how each joke almost is when you write it. I watch a lot of comedy. I'm all over all y'all motherfuckers shit on when they post specials, Bill, all those dudes. I'm Tony. I'm into all this shit. So it's like I'm really a fan of comedy, and it's just amazing to me. Like I said, the finiteness of it is precious.
That's an interesting way of putting it. I never really thought about it that way. I thought about it in the way that like you have to write new stuff, but I never thought about it in the way that like the first time that someone hears it, that's the only time they really hear it. Every time after that, they know what's coming. Yeah. They never see it the same way, you know? Yeah. It's like
again like an Olympic athlete. You're working that joke. Yeah. You're working that joke out, and the joke's getting better. And it's like, okay, it's a bronze medal joke right now, and it's a silver medal joke. If you ever get it to that gold medal joke, and then you drop it where it's supposed to be in that place and time of the special or the thing that everybody sees, then it's done.
You know what's interesting now is there's a lot of comedy nerds. They want to watch the process, so they watch you flip punchlines around, flip things around, and they go, hey, you did that thing different now. I go, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
That'd be amazing to me if I had the time to just sit and watch you guys work out, like nerds, go to the comedy club every night or whatever.
These two ladies from Arizona, and they came down to the store. They travel around the world. They went to see Ari in Europe or Iceland or some shit, but they're comedy nerds, and they come to watch, and they'll see you like 2 months ago, and then they come see you again. I had conversations with them, and they're like, yeah, I like how you switched that up. Like you put that there. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to put it. I don't know where that goes.
Part of my point is like there's a journey there until you get to that point where it's like dropped in that special or a thing that's been seen across a broad spectrum. It is a journey, and they know that because they're fans of the comedy, so they know that thing's gonna build into something. You know, that's cool. I would love that sounds like a fucking amazing time to me.
Well, it's also like if you're a fan of music, it's hard to go watch people practice.
It's different. Yeah. Because you're practicing in front of motherfuckers and they're reacting. I'm practicing what we do. We call it shedding. Yeah. It's because we're locked in a fucking room doing it by ourselves, and we ain't going to do it in front of you until we got that shit right. Right. You know?
Yeah. We can't do that. We have to do it in front of people. But the weird thing about it is it's like they can come and see it. They could see you practice.
No,
Well,
that's
no. People can't see you practice really.
it's not practice. You're just fucking perform. It's
Yeah.
comedy's performance art. You know
In
what
a
I mean?
way, yeah, for sure.
So it's like you're working it out. You have the concept, but it has to be worked out. It has to be walked to a destination, so to speak. You know what I mean?
The other part of it is though, there's so many more people doing music than there are doing comedy. Like the waters are like less populated. What do you think? Like the numbers for sure, right? Like
Oh,
there's
absolutely. Because
way more great bands than there are great comedians.
no, there's not a lot of great bands. There's a lot of fucking artists. Like there's not a lot of new great bands. Name a couple.
New great bands.
Oh yeah, okay. So
new.
I thought we were talking about like what's the
I mean,
newest.
overall, like
Yeah, yeah.
people are
It-
active currently.
Yeah.
Dude,
It-
Rolling Stones are still on tour. What the fuck is happening? They're just waiting for someone to explode.
The funny thing was, I think I went to their farewell tour in like fucking
85?
85 or something like that, dude.
But
God bless them.
baby.
And everybody back then was saying, "Isn't it amazing? They're still touring."
It's amazing. Aerosmith too, same deal.
They were
Still
probably in their
cranking.
50s then, you know. Now what they're like 70s, 80s.
Dude, David Lee Roth looks healthy as fuck. It was funny when you had him in his in your lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's healthy as fuck, man. That guy has no connection to the outside world. He has a lady he uses. The lady has a phone. She tells David where he should go and when he should meet you. And David goes there. And David doesn't bring a phone. I don't even know if he had a wallet. I paid for dinner. I'm like, this he's not connected at all to the outside world. He doesn't give a fuck. Smiles at everybody. Couldn't be friendlier. He just knows his vibration. He figured it out and he sticks with it.
Can't hate.
He's hilarious, man. He's a fascinating cat, that David Lee Roth. You know, he lived in Japan for like a year and learned kendo, which is the art of sword fighting. He trained under a Japanese master. He brought his dog, rented an apartment, got a fucking apartment in Tokyo, and just every day went to kendo practice. He got whacked with bamboo swords.
One of my drummers, the guy, he's in Fish. He's actually the band Fishbone. He's one of the namesakes, and he's into all that, like heavy jujitsu, but like martial arts. But he's weapons trained, like
A lot
crazy.
of people are into it. How many people moved to Japan to train with a Japanese kendo master for a fucking year? He didn't even speak Japanese. He brings his dog to the other side of the planet to learn sword fighting for a
That's
year.
amazing.
And he's David Lee Roth. Like,
Did he
can do
learn
a lot of
Japanese,
different
though?
things. Oh, he learned a lot of shit. Yeah, he can speak like a broken version, I'm sure, of Japanese. But I bet his kendo's pretty badass. I don't want to sword fight him. He really went for it, you know. He trained martial arts and karate and kickboxing under Benny Urquidez, Benny the Jet Urquidez, who was
Okay.
like a California legend, a world legend.
Had a gym like in Van Nuys, right?
Van Nuys. When
Yeah.
I first came to California, there was two things that I needed to do. I needed to go to the Comedy Store first and foremost. Number two is I needed to go to the Jet Center. The Jet Center was Benny the Jet's place in Van Nuys.
I think I shot my first album cover there.
Dude,
Yeah.
did you really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's crazy. What year?
Like 1988.
Oh my God, I wasn't out here yet. That's crazy. I was just
Like
starting
this is
comedy.
first Everlast record with Ice T.
Wow.
Was Ice T like had signed me
Wow, that's crazy.
to his label.
Yeah, I got here too late, man. I got here in '94, and the gym had been so badly damaged by the earthquake that when it started raining, it was a year after the earthquake. When it started raining, the rain was leaking all throughout the ceiling. The ceiling was a wreck, and they had to abandon the building. And I don't think they started off another place in North Hollywood, but it wasn't quite the same thing. Like the Jet Center in Van Nuys was like one of those places.
No, I'm positive now. That's where it is. It's like because it's
sure.
a boxing ring. Like, and I remember the Jet Center. That's where we shot. That's how I knew about Benny
Makes
and all.
sense.
That's how I learned about him.
Tough dudes, man. I went there. I was so nervous because I came here from New York, and I was still sparring back then. I hadn't decided to stop sparring yet. I just needed something to do, and I was out here doing TV work, and I was training with all these gangbangers, man. I remember this one dude. He had something on his back. I don't remember what the name of the gang was. Let's like Flatas or something like that, and then it just said "fuck the rest" on his back. And I remember thinking, Jesus. And one of the guys, like Blinky Rodriguez, who was a world-class, world championship-level kickboxer, he knocked out Jean-Yves Theriot. He was like top of the food chain kickboxer. He had a son that succumbed to gang violence, and so he like worked really. I'm pretty sure this is a story. And he worked really hard to like help the gang members in the community and bring them in the gym for free and teach them kickboxing and show them that they have value and that they could work out their differences inside the ring like men and not get involved in gang violence and shit like this. And so it was a weird thing because we'd go there and it was like you were taking kickboxing. I'm a fucking kid from the suburbs of Boston, okay? And I'm a comedian and I'm like fucking 26 years old and I'm hanging out with gangbangers in this like hardcore kickboxing gym of one of my martial arts idols, Benny Urquidez, and another one, Blinky Rodriguez, who was another one of my martial arts idols. And, you know, they didn't know who the fuck I was, and I was just in there, like, training with them, and then it went under. And I was like, if I got this brief glimpse into this place that was in my childhood, like my martial arts childhood, like that was one of the meccas that I needed to go to. I needed to go to the Jet Center, but it all went away real quick. Like within, I don't know how many months after I joined there.
The name of the album was Forever Everlasting.
That's crazy.
It's me like in a corner of a, because they had the Everlast. They had me in a boxing ring. They had, it was fucking. That was the Jet Center. We shot that.
Benny the Jet was nasty.
There you go.
Man. There it is.
There you go.
Wow.
That's actually my father.
I bought that, bro.
It's my father on the upper right there.
Dude, I bought that. Guaranteed I bought that CD. 100%. 100% I bought that CD.
Yeah, that was all at the Jet Center, man.
Wow. That guy was a legend, man. Benny Urquidez was a beast. He would go to Hawaii and fight in these crazy mixed tournaments where they do judo on you and boxing and all kinds of crazy shit. Those guys were the originators, man. They were the hardcore second wave after Bruce Lee.
God damn. Look at
that, you handsome bastard. God damn, you look
dude, I got like a little Hitler stash or something going on there. Well, I think I was trying to grow it.
You look like a quarterback in a movie, like a high school movie.
Like
where
Friday Night Lights.
One guy's like a big, burly asshole. Who,
I was, I think, 16 right there, man. That shot is taken by a legendary photographer by the name of Glenn Friedman, man. He took many, many of the most iconic shots ever, dude. Shout out to Glenn.
You would play a perfect guy in like a movie about a quarterback who's an asshole to his girlfriend, but there's another guy in the school, and he's like real sensitive, and he writes poetry, and the girl wants to be with him.
I like want to kick his ass.
Yes. Yeah, that's you right there.
Bully him. Yeah.
Listen, man, it's late as fuck.
Right.
It's 20 to 7. You want to play one more song and get out of here?
Yeah.
Shall we? I think
let's do that. Let's do
we should end it on
break
song.
it down.
Tell everybody, DJ Mello, please give up your credentials and social media.
DJ Melody, is it just DJ Melody? Yeah, DJ Melody on Instagram. And like I said, Beat Junkies, Institute of Sound. Check it out.
And all on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. They can find it from there.
All across the board.
Yes, sir. Whitey Ford's House of Pain is the album.
Woo!
All these songs are from that. And yeah, here we got one more for you.
One more.
Play you out.
Good night, everybody.
You ready?
December, girl, on everything I remember. Every day I got Memphis on my mind. I've written calls and I've been calling. Girl, as hard as I've been falling, the heart gets broken almost every time. And I'm bringing it home to you, baby. Come home. I've been building this wall around my heart for so long. And I'm bringing it home to you, baby. Come home. Girl, you got to want me around. You can help me break it down. Help me break it down. Old friends like leaves are scattered, back where everything still matters. Sometimes things just never go your way. Bruised and broke, but I'm surviving. All these miles that I've been driving, got all my hopes in this old blue Chevrolet. I'm bringing it home to you, baby. Come home. I've been building this wall around my heart for so long, and I'm bringing it home to you, baby. Come home, yeah. Girl, you got to want me around. You can help me break it down.
experience. Beat Junkies, DJ Melody.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
Thanks, brother. It was
DJ
fun.
Melody,
That was a good day
Everlast.
today. It was
This
fun.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Good night, everybody.